YouTube, welcome back to my playthrough of Asagao Academy. First playthrough, never done it before, though I've seen playthroughs of it. We are continuing with trying to get to PBG is the end goal. And we are picking up right where we left off with day 4. Mai and I arrived at Poppy Hall the next morning, and it immediately became clear something changed. Posters drenched in nausea-inducing neon colors were plastered on the lockers. Several students gathered to take a look. Oh, my gosh. I walked over to one of the walls to get a better look. Is that Jared? When Mai didn't respond, I turned to look at her. The expression on her face told me that her mind wandered somewhere that would have made a call girl blush. Ah, you're drooling. That seemed to jolt her out of her fantasy. She lifted a sleeve to wipe away the drivel on her chin. I'm not. What are these posters for? There. Well, last year Jared put on a fashion show. Looks like he's doing it again this year. I didn't know Jared was into fashion. I shrugged. He's not. I waited for some type of clarification.
So cute.
One time in biology, I saw him take off his sweater, and his shirt got kind of stuck, and it pulled up, and I swear he had like 20 abs. I waited in vain. Hello, ladies. Oh no. Mai and I whipped around. There stood Jared in all his glittering, magnificent glory. Mai's face turned into blushing pink. Most beautiful guy in school. I see you're admiring my totally sweet posters. Yeah. They're really something, Jared. I like your abs. With sudden, soul-crushing realization of what she said, her expression twisted a mixture of horror and disgust. Jared was unfazed. Thanks, but Hana, it was actually you I wanted to speak to. Why would you want to talk to me? Oh, yeah, okay. What's up? Jared looked expectantly at Mai. She didn't move. Realizing she was in trouble, I nudged her with my elbows as subtly as I could.
Hey.
Why would you get me soda? I'm really thirsty. Without a word, Mai scuttled away. Jared turned back to me, a cool glint in his eye. He seemed used to the effect he had on women. I wanted to talk to you about the fashion show. Actually, you're new here and all, so you probably don't know, but every year I look to put on a little fashion show to showcase my modeling skills. Wait, what? You know, just to make sure people don't forget what I'm capable of. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a stack of glossy photos and thrust them into my hands. I stared down at them in awe. I love that that's the face that they went with. I flipped through them, starting to notice a pattern. As you can tell, my beauty is something that simply can't go to waste. I like to hold a fashion show here at Asagao Academy to ensure everyone gets their yearly dose of Pro Jared. Flip to the last photo. Heat shut up my neck and into my ears. Surely this was some kind of joke. I shoved the stack of photos back at him, wiping my sweaty palms against my skirt. What does this have to do with me? That might have been a touch rude. Jared, smooth as ever, simply smiled. I think you have potential, Hana. He suddenly leaned close to me, so close, in fact, that I could smell his cologne, a musky, sweet aroma of earthly scent and... Damn. Potential for what exactly? Jared shifted, his mouth so close to my ear I could feel its heat. For greatness. Reached into his shirt pocket and retrieved a small slip of paper. With quivering hands, I accepted it. My card. My number's on the bottom. If you're ever interested, I could teach you a thing or two about modeling. I stared down at the card in my hand, feeling as if I looked away, it would disappear. By the time I gathered courage to face him again, Jared was gone. Feeling quite dizzy, I headed for class, the business card strangled to death in my white-knuckled hand. By the time I got through the milling students to the classroom, Mai was sitting at her desk, face down and completely still. I took my seat and twisted around to poke the dejected Mai-shaped heap. She didn't budge. Mai. I heard a muffled groan of despair. I'm such a social disaster. No, you're not. I tried to sound covering, but I was never good at this sort of thing. Mai finally lifted her head from her desk. What's that? She motioned to the business card that was still in my hand. I sat in front of her. Mai appraised it for a long minute with a blank face, as if I set a rare artifact in front of her she didn't actually believe was real. Then her eyebrows pulled together. He gave you his number? Well, yeah, sort of. I mean, not really. He said I should call him if I want him to. Teach me how to model like him. It was embarrassing to even say, and the words felt awkward in my mouth. The moment I said it out loud, I wish I could grab them back and swallow them. I expected Mai to give me a once-over before making an off-the-cuff comment about I wasn't nearly pretty enough to be a model. But she didn't. He, like, totally wants to get with you. Her tone was so matter-of-fact, I gaped. What? No, he doesn't. Why would you say that? Okay, Hannah. I'm taking enough sex ed classes to know when a guy fully wants you, and Jared, like, fully wants you. Mortified, I snatched the business card back off her desk and shoved it into my jacket pocket. Turning away, my cheeks felt like they were on fire. But now the classroom was filled with students. They chatted among themselves, but the white noise of their conversation wasn't loud enough to drown my out. In the corner of my eye, I could see John and PBG seated at their desks in the back of the classroom. I'm talking serious gravity hands in the back of his dad's Camaro here. You're going to make babies with Pro Jared, Hannah. Little, glittering Jared babies. I mean, it's high school. I'm just kind of letting it. That's just... Girls are weird. No, I'm not. You're totally crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Miss Shizuka, like some kind of angel, cleared her throat in the front of class. I exhaled gratefully and sunk down in my seat. Oops. When class finally ended, Mai and I headed for the cafeteria, the incident forgotten in her hurried attempt to explain Miss Shizuka's scandalous last relationship. Seriously, he spent all this time trying to choose between her and some dead chick who only liked him because he looked like her ex-boyfriend. I mean, who does that? We got our food and hesitated in the middle of the room looking at the normal goods table. Neither of us wanted to go up and demand a seat, especially after wiggling our way in the day before. What if they changed their minds? But Satch, noticing us standing like lost lambs in the middle of the room, waved us over. Hey girl, how's class? Normal? Satch nodded and turned away, having been in the middle of talking to Josh. That was awkward, despite how familiarly he treated me. I still didn't know how to talk to him, or any of them. I looked across the table and locked eyes with PBG, who stared at me like I was a baby German Shepherd. Alrighty then. You... Cookies? What? You brought us cookies. You're the best, Gerard. Paul sprung out of his chair and practically tackled Gerard. Whoa, calm down. There's more than enough cookies to go around. Gerard started passing the cookies around the table, but paused. You're back again? He looked at Mai and me. I tried to ignore the disappointment on his face. Not what I wanted. This is a very sensitive right click. Well, here. He handed us each a cookie and then headed back across the cafeteria. There with the small chocolate chips melting in the warm cookie. Did he not want us here? But he was so nice yesterday. I didn't even want to eat the cookie, not if he was going to be as two-faced as that. Hey, watch where you're walking next time. A sheepish Gerard stood next to a short, skinny boy who was holding his tray above his head. I'm sorry, I'll be more careful. You're from Normal Boots. Well, you're the guy who plays with itty-bitty kitties, aren't you? The boy sneered. How the hell did you manage in with a group like that? They're my friends. Playing with those stupid dolls, you're an embarrassment. Kid's friends were hitting his shoulders, looking from Gerard to our table with panic eyes. I think they're fun. Whatever. That's like the best reaction. I like My Little Pony, goddammit, and I will stand by that. G4 was pretty fucking solid. It kind of hooked me. Hooked me bad. Anyway. The kid was let off by his friend. Gerard came back and sat down at the table. That was weird. Gerard sat down and began happily munching on his cookie, looking for all the world like he didn't even care about what just happened. Scanned the cafeteria for the boy who heckled him and found him sitting alone at a table. Head in his hands. His friends left him behind. What was that about? Oh, that. I used to get it all the time. I collect itty-bitty kitty figurines. In that kid show with the 5 kittens who live in Kitten Town. They were originally supposed to have magic powers, but whatever. I collect their figurines. They're so cute. Almost got them all. I'm only missing Princess Pumpernickel. She's the rarest. Why was that guy making fun of you? Doesn't it bother you? I was afraid of bringing up bad feelings, but Gerard shook his head. Looks kind of weird, right? A teenage boy collecting toys meant for little girls. But I like them, so I don't let it bother me. Sorry I didn't bring enough cookies the first time, Hana. I forgot that you were joining us again, but I'm glad you're here. I bit my lip. See, Hana? He's being nice the whole time, and here you were jumping to conclusions. Hey, your cookie will get cold if you don't eat it. Warm cookies are the best cookies. Give me a sec. There we go. That might help a little bit. Now the sun's not coming in as much. And there after the cookies, scents of chocolate and cinnamon hit me. Broke off a piece and popped into my mouth. Gerard whispered something into Nick's ears. He started laughing so hard milk came out his nose. Is he really okay with people making fun of him? I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it. Give me a moment. There we go. Scotty, you're here. And with the hydrate. And I see that my chat is still not working, even though I fixed it. You know what? Give me 2 seconds. Let me check this again. Because damn it, I want that chat to work. It should be working perfectly fine here. Alright. Scotty, try sending something. Alright, well, while I wait for more chat to show up, hopefully it's fixed this time. I had forgotten to hit save, so that's my bad. At my old school, people made fun of me every day. It was hell. There's no way you could just brush it off like that, not when I tried so hard to do the same. People are different. I mean, I reacted to bullying by punching people. Wasn't healthy. Pretty far from healthy, honestly. But as I finished the cookie and started on my ramen, and Gerard continued to laugh with the rest of Normal Boots, I wondered whether it was as impossible as I thought. Hannah, can you pass me some pepper? I got it. Here, Jared. Thanks. What's your name again? Smai? Thanks, Smai. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Well, Hannah, ready to head back? Huh? Oh, yeah. Did Mai look sad, or did I imagine it? I mean, her crush literally just said, I have no idea who you are. We threw our trays on the racks and headed out of the cafeteria. As we waved to Normal Boots and Gerard cheerily waved back, a sudden pain hit my stomach. Was it guilt? Yeah. After class ended that day, Mai said she had volleyball practice and sped off. Thankfully, this time I knew where I was going, so I headed straight back and collapsed on my bed. It was nice to have some time to myself after everything that happened. Felt like I was going crazy. I could use some relaxation. Didn't have a computer or a TV, and the book Satch gave me was really good, but sometimes it got a bit hard to read. Instead, I took out my phone and started flipping through the App Store. Nothing really looked good. Wait, what was this? I sat up. Dumby Doom's Revenge. Face off against 3 other players as you catch monsters, raise them, use their unique skills to aid you on your puzzle-solving quest. Only you can save Metaworld from its ignorant king and utter destruction. Now, a single-player campaign. Raise crops to feed your monsters. If you're lucky, they'll transform into cute girls. What the hell? Oh, no! What the shit was that? I'm gonna leave that open for now. Oh, okay. That was just my wife leaving. It looked so stupid, but couldn't hurt to give it a try. Downloaded and started up the game. Alright, you know, this is bugging me. Yes, it's coming through. Oh my god, that is so tiny. Why is that so tiny? better. It still blends in, unfortunately. Blends in more than I thought it would. That part sucks. Right. Welcome to Dumbledoo's Revenge. I skipped the intro sequence and quickly hit single player. Loading. Load times were terrible. Suddenly a cartoonish hilly valley met my eyes, panning over to a white castle nestled to a cliff. Lazy King lay asleep on the throne when a squat silver soldier ran into the room. King Dumbadoom, quickly, we're under attack. Oh, just send the 1st Battalion off, please. I'm rather tired. The knight left, and the screen faded to a world map showing a horde of black blobs on the right side of the screen. A small group of knights ran up against the blobs and were instantly devoured. One of the black blobs spit out a helmet with a skull inside. What the hell is this game? Things continued in this way, with the king sending off his battalions haphazardly until no one was left. Then the king awoke into his chair and turned to the screen. You! Me? Only you can save my kingdom, please! I don't think I can save your kingdom, you're the one menacing it. How dare you? What the hell, could this thing hear me? You are no longer my advisor. Go back to your home village and let me deal with this myself. Tiny sprite with brown hair flew across the world map, bouncing into a bunch of red houses. Guess my only choice is to raise an army of monsters myself, overthrow the king, and then raise an army to fight the oncoming bloopity bloops. How the hell did you come to that conclusion? Finally, I was allowed to play the actual game. A dozen multicolored blocks appeared on the screen. Monsters I was initially given could only hit their corresponding colors and couldn't activate any traps. Supposedly more monsters could eventually learn how to set traps, and you could do certain combos to hinder the opposing team. If you had an attractive girl on your team, she could use an ability to double the rate of your opponent's blocks or have their clock time. But that had a drawback for you too, and you could be used as an asset by the opponent. I'm not fucking hitting the button. Not to mention that certain color combinations between girls and monsters activated unique secret abilities, and you could also evolve your monsters and feed them. Feed them what? Feed them things, okay. How am I supposed to remember all of this? Failed the first few times, but quickly got the hang of it. It was just about being adaptable and maintaining flexible strategy after all. My eyes started to hurt, and I looked at the time. 8 o'clock? It had been 4 hours? I had reading to do. Oh yeah, gotta get sucked into gaming. I've done that all many times. Give me just a second here. Anyway, I grabbed my textbook, flicked my radio on, and began to read. I'm sorry about constantly checking my phone. I've been waiting to hear from something. It's not happening. I guess my boss just ain't contacting me today. Grabbed my textbook, flicked my radio on, and began to read. There have been many, many tales of times when the moon has fallen on other planets, the most popular of which being the myth of Termina. Good lord. However, these myths have never proven to be more than a hallucination. You wasted no goddamn time, May. I just sent the goddamn link. But hey, welcome. I mean, I'm always joining you, and now you see I'm a beautiful bald man. Your VTuber avatar is like a giraffe guy. I don't think giraffes go fast, at least not compared to Sonic. My eyes blurred over my astronomy textbook, and I yawned. The Schubert piece floating from my radio made me want to go to sleep, and I toyed with the idea of going to class without finishing my reading. Who cared how many times the moon was supposed to fall, especially when time travel was involved? Hana! I burst in through the door, flung herself across the room, and grabbed my radio. Hey, where have you been? What are you doing? Give me a second, we're missing it. Alright, hang on, just a moment. I mean, yeah, that's actually... Can none of these actually... Okay, I was hoping I could add a background onto my chat, but it doesn't look like any of that's going to happen. There we go. But I swear, that dog was the living worst. That's why you need a bird, like my lovely Jacques. Watch your tongue. What is this? Shh. So, the time has come to make an official announcement. This year, just like every year, the Normal Boots Club will be participating in the video game tournament. Woohoo! Yay! As PBG applauded as though he were a crowd of 30 people. I shot a puzzled glance at Mai. I hope you guys will support us again this year, and best of luck to our competitors. You guys are going down. Now for some music. Good taste. I turned down the radio inside. Okay, what did you want? What was that? PB&J. It's PBG and John's radio show. They have a radio show? What do they do on it? Well, you know, they talk and stuff and play music sometimes. Everyone in school listens to it. I'm so glad you brought your radio. I forgot mine at home. And a video game tournament? Yeah, didn't you hear them talking about it the other day? No. Come to think about it, I hadn't paid much attention to their conversations. I was too busy worrying about myself. Every year they have a game tournament down at Higginbottom Mall. Lots of people come to compete. Everybody knows the real fight is between Normal Boots Club and Hidden Block Club. Is that what they do? Video game tournaments? Yeah, that's why nobody's ever joined them since their inception. Well, I guess partly they're a group of friends who happen to make a club together, but also, unless you're really talented, you just drag them down. I try. I am terrible. I will admit that doing these helps out a lot, and there are times where I'm able to, other times I'm not, and I think because of my my lungs not being fully healed from my pericarditis, oh my god, but I'm not able to do it as well. Like if you watch my Dream Daddy playthrough, I think I did a lot better job of differentiating voices there. Which, by the way, May, if you didn't know, I do actually have a YouTube channel, and I do have a bunch of my old streams uploaded to it. So feel free, scroll down in my description, and it's there. And I like to think that I'm good. Oh no, if I feel myself getting winded while I'm playing these games, no, I actually do stop and I catch myself some breath. But this is only the second stream I've done since Christ almighty, when the hell was my last stream? You know, give me a sec, I can actually figure this out right now. Let's see here. I got jabbed on the 10th, which means, there we go. The 8th. The 8th of May was the last time I streamed until this past Thursday. So it was almost a solid 2 weeks. Ouch. Not all of them are so harsh, but some of them, well... I glanced away, but I felt like I knew who she was talking about. That's too bad. Conversation I had before with Jimmy and Caddy came to mind. Had they really thought I was joining the Normal Boots Club? There was no way. I hadn't played a video game since I was a kid. My father gave me a 4DS when I left home, but... The night before I left home for Asagao, my dad came to visit me in my room. I had packed the few things I owned into a briefcase in a single cardboard box set to be shipped with the train. I sat and stared at the box, somewhat bitter. I barely even needed it. I didn't own much. Hana? Yeah, Dad? My father stood in front of me, a weary smile on his face. Even though he tried to hide it, I could see by the deep wrinkles around his eyes and forehead that he was tired, sad. The past few years had taken their toll on him, and I hadn't eased things. You'll be leaving tomorrow. Yeah. Heavy silence hung between us, filling my childhood bedroom like a styrofoam. Are you excited? Yeah. Yeah, I am. He nodded again and glanced around my room. The pale blue walls, broken clock above my old desk, scuff marks around the door frame from where I ran into it as a kid. Lived in this house almost my whole life, ever since moving after kindergarten. It was everything I knew, but now it was too much for me. The decision to transfer to Asagao didn't come lightly. First, it was a prestigious institution with a highly prized reputation. Only the best of the best, touting either great grades, impressive talent, or lots of money could get in. I was none of those things, but I made it in regardless. Part of me suspected I was a charity case. I received a small scholarship, and it would no doubt look good for the academy to have fostered a poverty-stricken child in its walls. And despite the fact that my father couldn't afford it even with the scholarship, he guaranteed he'd support me if I went. Looked again at the wrinkles on his face, at his sagging shoulders, He pressed his hand against his body to hide the way they shook. All for me. He'd be all alone. I'm glad you're going. I think this will be good for you. Yeah. Wish I could say something else, but nothing came. Oh, honey, just in case you get homesick, I bought a present for you. Present? From his pocket, my dad produced a shining pink Nintendo 4DS and placed it into my hands. For you. But why? How? Dad, this costs so much. You're already killing yourself to let me go. Why would you... Tears spilled from my eyes as my dad smiled. Nothing is too good for you, my dear Hana. That is the kind of dad I will absolutely be. Although I like to think that, I won't be in a situation where I'm literally where I'm killing myself the way this guy is. Although I still mad respect for this guy. Mad respect. Anyway, moving on. His voice was trembling. Yes, this is a flashback right now. Hana is remembering her last day at home before she went off to the academy. You're my pride and joy. You deserve so much better than you've gotten from me. Dad, go to Asagao. Have fun. Make a lot of friends, and when you get homesick, you play with that. It'll make do. My bitrate's being weird. I stood up and hugged him, burying my face in his scratchy sweater and oatmeal smell. I'll miss you. I'll miss you, my little Hana. That's adorable. But the thing is, you forgot to give me a cartridge to play with. Now I glanced at the machine hidden behind my desk lamp. Mai watched me carefully. Well, you never know what could happen. What do you mean? Mai giggled. Nothing at all, but I just got back, so I've got work to do. Work, right. BBG and I still had the project due, and we hadn't met to discuss it at all. Said he had it under control, but I should probably make a backup plan, just in case. Wasn't that I didn't trust him, it was just that... Okay, I didn't trust him. Sighing, I worked a kink out of my shoulder. Looked like it would be a long night. What was that noise? Stop it, please. Ugh, I'm coming. Who on earth would do this so early? So early in the morning, the fact that it wasn't even light out. Fucking right? Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed my high school. I was lucky I went to a private school, and I made some kick-ass friends there. Scotty, my mod, if he's still here, he is someone I met during high school. And you know what? I fucking loved it. But this high school seems so much better, and I wish I went there. It's early morning, in fact, it wasn't even light out. Quietly padded over to the door, Mai shifted in her bed. What? It's about time. Who? Oh, honey. She pushed back when he swept into the room, flipping on the light switch. Paul and Nick followed after him. Hana, I feel just terrible for ruining your uniform. Sincerely, we owe you an apology and a clean uniform. I had the benefit of only graduating with like 44 people, and I had a lot of the same teachers throughout. So it was very easy for me to really remember them and have fond memories with them. I'm not so good at that kind of thing, so I brought a friend to help me. Josh pulled open my drawer and tossed out clothes left and right. Oh my God, stop, that's my underwear, what's wrong with you? I ran to him and grabbed his arm, trying to pull him away. These panties are so cute, they're perfect for you. Get away from there! Where's your uniform? I ducked below Josh and pulled open a drawer, pulling out the sticky fabric. Here, take it. I threw it at Josh's face, but he caught it with ease. This is no problem. I promise I'll have this cleaned in no time. Girls! He snapped. Follow me. Paul, Nick, and Josh swept from my room, but they didn't head towards the hall exit, so they turned left, heading deeper into the dormitory. I didn't have a good feeling about this. God almighty, I really need to get back to watching Continue. Those guys were a lot of fun. I mean, I actually don't even know if they're still going. I have no idea if their show is still a thing. Something to look into, I suppose. I'm not going to have time tomorrow, but maybe during the week. I stepped into my slippers and ran into the hallway just in time to see the door to the girls' bathroom close. Oh no. Now, what are you doing in here? I sprinted to the bathroom door, but before I could get there, Paul and Nick slammed into the wall across from the door. Man, like you were the worst. Whoa, no, this is all misunderstanding. Please. I'm sure it was. No, Mimi, it really was. Wait a second, where's the other person who was with them? She's doing something with the uniform in the sink. Mimi tossed her head with a sniff and headed back into the bathroom. She actually thinks Josh is a girl? She wouldn't be the first. Josh himself believes he's a girl. That wig is magical. Well, stay out of the girls' bathroom. It's not exactly going to help your platform before it gets around that you're a pervert. A shadow fell over Paul's face. I sighed. Don't worry, I'll talk to Mimi. Go back to the boys' dorm. Thank you so much, Hannah. Yeah. Watched them scamper away, then headed into the bathroom. Hey, Joshalina. You and I should probably get going. I ran to the corner and found him doing Mimi's hair. No, it's just Josh from Continue in a very, very bad wig. Actually, no, that's a fabulous looking wig. It's just the beard kind of, doesn't help. In a second, Hannah, I've got to finish this. Oh, yeah, no, Joshalina is a dude. Hannah, have you met Joshalina? She's so good with hair, and look, she even got the stain out of the shirt. Mimi held up my uniform. Really? Thank goodness. Thank you so much. It's no problem, honey. Guess I'll let you finish. Maybe you won't tell anyone about Paul and Nick coming to the bathroom, will you? Oh, her? No, that is a chick. Mimi is a girl. Why wouldn't I? Well, as class representatives, they were just trying to help Joshalina get her bearings, and they were showing her where the bathroom was. I should have been the one to show her, but I was asleep and they didn't want to wake me up. Oh, well, I guess it's fine then. Thank you. I stood staring at them, unsure of what to do next. Do you mind? I need to concentrate to finish this. Oh my god. Of course you think that, though. But I also won't argue that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm back to my room. Life at Asagao never got easier, did it? I was still asleep when I got back. There was no way I was going back to bed, so I changed my uniform, grabbed my bag, and went to class early. You dork. My plan was to get started on the project Miss Shizuka gave us. As sincere as PBG was, I wasn't quite sure he'd hold up his end of the bargain. Then in the classroom, went to my seat, throwing my bag against my desk. A small snap came from across the room. Shane was at his desk, giving me a look. Do you mind? I'm trying to work. Oh, I'm sorry. Looked at the door. It was too late to leave, but I didn't want to be stuck by myself with a guy who clearly hated me. I sat down at my desk and looked at my hands. This is the quietest place I can find in the mornings. Really? Not the library? Shane shook his head. I see. I'll try not to bother you. He shook his head again. You're fine. Do whatever. I know nothing about Shane. I honestly, I've seen him on other shows like Super Beard Bros and stuff like that. Because I think Shane's shown up on that. I've never really paid much attention to Do You Know Gaming. It'd be awkward if I just sat there like that. So, what are you working on? Shane looked at me, and for a moment... Oh my god, he kind of does... Yeah, this art style does make him look like that. Shane looked at me, and for a moment I thought he wasn't going to answer. Then he waved me over. I crossed the room to his desk and looked over his shoulder. Several sheets of paper with lightly sketched outlines lay in front of him. Looked like they were for... comics? You draw comics? Yeah. What about? He shrugged. Whatever. He said it was a touch of... He said it with a touch of finality, so I skipped to another topic. Do you mind if I ask where you're from? Shane gave a heavy sigh. Could you not tell by my accent? I'm from England. It's my second year. Oh. He continued to draw, etching the lines of a British flag above what looked to be a government building. Do you miss it? He finished shading a line before responding. You guess. My whole family is there. You're by yourself? Why did you come here? Class will start soon. Don't you have something to work on? Ouch. Taking the hint, I went back to my desk. Suddenly the door slammed open. Hey, look, we got here early. Wonderful. Oh, Hannah, shame. Looks like it's just the four of us. Should stir up some trouble. Trouble? Let's plant an egg on Miss Shizuka's chair, eh? Bet you think it was hilarious. No. Oh, come on. I bet I could find an exploding bird or two to dive bomb us during class. Bet you could probably bake her a cake? Filled with knives! What the fuck, John? Yeah, Shane's right. What is wrong with you? Shane is more than an ocean away from his family and friends. It was only 2 hours for my dad, yet I missed him so much. Was Shane homesick at all? Probably, you just don't show it. Soon other students filled the room and Mai joined me at my desk asking why I abandoned her. I filled her in on the situation. She had a good laugh, but as the clock ticked closer to class time, I felt something was missing. Eventually I realized what it was. PBG wasn't in class yet. The bell rang. Miss Shizuka came in and class began. But still, he was nowhere to be found. Where was he? What the fuck is she talking about? The real problem that causes grinding it to be necessary in RPGs is, if you ask me, is the whole system is flawed. Shizuka's on tangent again. She must have gotten stood up. I can't romance the teacher. This is nearly over and PB still hadn't shown. The only people I can romance are the members of the Normal Boots Club, and I'm aiming for Peanut Butter Gamer. That never gets less weird to say out loud, by the way. I was worried, but no one seemed to care. That kid always misses class. Still, what if he was sick? Why didn't anyone care? The sound of the bell, Miss Shizuka jumped. I mean, partially that, but partially because I've also already seen the paths of the characters that I would normally go for, which would be Pro Jared or Gerard the Completionist. So I figured if I didn't go for them, I'd go for either JonTron or PBG. Now I just like, no, I'll give PBG some love. Sound of the bell, Miss Shizuka jumped. Oh, well, turn in 2-page reflection on why the human species as a whole has the emotional range of a teaspoon, due tomorrow. She definitely got stood up. Miss Shizuka? I said and dashed to her desk. Yes, Hana? PBG wasn't in class today, and I can take his notes to him if you need. Oh, Hana, you're a godsend. Miss Shizuka's eyes watered. She leaned over her desk and pulled me into a hug. It's wonderful to see our youth have hope. Hana, she pulled away and stared into my eyes. Don't give up on love. You're young. If PBG is the one you want, you have my blessing. Here, take these papers. She shoved the handouts from today's class into my hands and gathered her things. This woman does not take getting stood up that well. And you know what? That is fine. I understand. Bless your heart. She left the room crying. Poor thing. She must have really liked this one. Does this happen often? Often enough. So you're taking that to PBG? Yeah. Now that I think of it, I don't know his room number. 402. How? It's next to Jared's room, of course. So of course I'd notice him leaving in the mornings. Second, I haven't saved in a while, just in case it crashed. I've got tryouts, so I won't be able to go with you. Good luck, though. I'm sure he'll be happy to see you. I told you I don't think he feels that way. Before I could say anything more, she left the room. 400, 401, 402. Here it is. They kind of do, yeah. In fact, I know that's... I think there was something... A lot of people wished that Mai was a romanceable option. But I don't think she is unless they patched it in or something. I paused in front of his door, my heart in my throat. I suddenly felt horribly stupid about bringing this to him. It wasn't like he would even look at it. He said himself he hated school. What if he was dying in there? John went to the drama club. He wouldn't be back for a few hours. Sucking it up, I knocked on the door. Who is it? It's Hana. I brought some notes from... The door swung open before I could finish my sentence. PBG beamed down at me. Hana, hi. Hi. Come in. Thanks? I stepped into a messy room. Posters lined the walls, and small Harvest Moon plushies piled up on one of the beds, which I assumed to be PBG's. TV was in the center of the room. Turby twinkled happily from the pause menu. You're playing games? Huh? Oh, yeah. PBG closed the door behind me. I didn't feel like going to class today. I thought I'd stay in and do some work. Oh my god. Mind out of the gutter, May. At least for a little bit. Work? Well, we do have a tournament coming up. So this kind of counts. I'll write you stuff we went over in class. Oh, thank you. He took the papers out of my hands and set them on a desk next to a small stack of manga. Glad you're feeling well. Were you worried that I was sick? Sorry. But that's adorable. I'm kind of happy about it. What? Do you want to hang out? We have to work on our project at some point anyways, right? Objective observations, my ass. I know what head you think with. Don't forget, this shit's going on YouTube. Try and keep it PG, please. At least a little bit. It might not be kid-friendly because I fucking swear like a goddamn sailor, but, you know, I could still get flagged for shit. Well, didn't really have anything else planned. Great. He plopped into a beanbag and slapped the pillow down next to him. Do you want to play? No, I'm not too good at games. I think I'll just watch. Okay, then. Jan paused the game. Turby sprinted across the screen, shooting fireballs from his mouth. You dork. TBG and I didn't talk much. Instead, I commented on the game and laughed at him when he died. Before I knew it, the sun was setting and I had to leave. You're welcome back anytime. Actually, we're having a Stomping Sisters tournament in 2 days. You can come if you want. Really? Sure. Awesome. It'll be at noon in this room. I'll see you there. Left the dorm and stepped out into the fading sunlight. The air was warm, filled with the smell of freshly cut grass. Couldn't put my finger on it, but something about being around PBG was comforting. Shaking my head, I went back to the dorms. Hey, Mai, how did tryouts... Hana, close your eyes, don't move. Before I could flip on the light switch, something warm collided with me and my eyes were covered. What's going on? Stop squirming, you'll ruin it. Ruin what? Just follow my lead, okay? Mai guided me through the room, telling me where to step. Down. She put her hands on my back and folded me in half, inching me into something that felt like it had a roof. Almost done. What exactly is going on? And ta-da! I gasped. Ah, pillow fort! One of my more fond memories of, not to say that they're not all fond, but this one sticks out, of me and my wife while we were dating. We were hanging out at her parents' place. I hadn't moved out yet, so I didn't have, my own place yet. But we're hanging out at her parents' place, and we're down in the basement where we usually hung out, and we would just watch movies down there or something for our date nights. And I don't know what happened, what clicked, but suddenly we looked at each other and we're like, let's build a fort. We took all the cushions off the couch. We grabbed a couple of blankets. We grabbed some pillows, and we just made a massive fort down in their basement. And we just curled up in there, watched movies on my laptop, and it was one of the best things ever. It was so fucking ridiculous. My, what is this? What does it look like? It's a pillow fort. I've been looking forward to this for ages. Tryouts already happened. I made the team easy. I left early because I wanted to set this up for you. For me? Well, for us. You've been such a good friend to me, Hana. I'm so glad we got to be roommates. I want to do something for you to make you feel more at home. Seen how panicked you can be going around school. I don't know what happened in your life, but Asagao is your fresh start, right? You've got me and you've got this school. And normal boots too. If you're up for it, this can be your new life. You don't ever have to look back. And now is when we can play. Yes, I knew it. I totally knew you were gonna cry. I can't romance Mai. Guess it means I was successful. Mai, you've done it again. Mai! I slammed her into a hug. Whoa, be careful, you don't want to break it. This took me forever. I was bullied at my old school, that's why I came here. It was only because my dad gave up everything to afford it. I thought you wouldn't like me, and I have a hard time trusting people. But, if you wanted to, I think we could be best friends? Oh god, now I'm gonna cry. Yes, let's be friends. So happy. Me too. Together, we're unstoppable. Fucking wholesome, I love it. Let's hook you and Jared up. Wait, I can't even speak to him without self-destructing. It's fine. There's no way he couldn't fall for you. Oh yeah, no one's caught your eye yet? Huh? I'd say there's more than a few suitors on your horizon. Oh my god, you... Look, she's got a thing for Jared. I'm not getting between that. Me, dating? My eyes shifted across the fort Maya made, the stuffed rabbit sitting on my bed, the window, with the view of Asagao's manicured lawn. My life changed so much so quickly. You know, maybe I could. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I prepared some activities for us to do. Look, she pulled out a tablet and opened an app. We're going to marathon you through Vavatar. I don't know. Too late. She pressed play. That is how what Mai just did is how I've actually gotten my wife to start watching some shows, is I will just start them when she's around, and I'll wait and watch her get hooked in. It has worked very often. As evening faded into night, we huddled in the blanket fort, watching episode after episode and messing with each other. Happier than I'd been for a long time, I rested my head on my shoulder. Before I knew it, I'd fallen asleep. As usual, the next day, Maya and I got to school early, still poking fun at each other for our moment the night before, but as we approached Poppy Hall, I noticed something felt different. A palpable tension hung in the air. It was almost humid. I need to stop right-clicking. Man, what is up with everyone? I don't know. Is there a test today? Not that I know of. As we entered the building and turned the corner, it suddenly made sense. Jared and Paul were arguing amidst a large crowd, spit flying from their mouths, while Nick and Josh walked along the hallways, pasting posters of Paul's face over Jared's modeling shots. I thought I told you to stop and take those posters down. No, what is wrong with you? These walls are everyone's space. We don't have to listen to you. And you should know this campaign is way more important than your little fashion show. But mine were here first. Lay off them. This is between you and me, Jared. Leave them out of it. You've been taking up all the wall space with your show. The students' elections are much more important. It's our government. Student government doesn't even do anything. I think he's said "ech" before. I think he's actually got it recorded in as a soundbite. Whoa, whoa, whoa. As current president, I can say with full knowledge and proper authority that the student government does a ton for this school. You don't even know, Jared. You don't even know. Mai, was the student government actually... Mai? She wasn't with me anymore. She pried herself between Jared and Paul and was pushing them apart. I ran forward to help her. You guys should stop. I flinched. Sorry, Hannah. I didn't mean to yell. We want your opinion on something. You're a regular student, a new student. You're uninvolved. What do you think is more important, our student government or the fashion show? Yeah, I am not. You are not throwing me into the nose. Like, if I was romancing one of them, yes, I would pick a side. But no, I am not choosing. They both let out a heavy sigh. It doesn't help us. It's amazing they even cared what I thought. Anna's usually right about these things. You should listen to her. Mai patted me on the back and I jumped. I forgot she was there. Jared looked at Mai, raising an eyebrow. Are you sure, Mai? Don't you have your own opinion? Why'd he bother to ask? Well, if I'm being honest, I care more about the fashion show. I go to the elections because I have to, but I go to the show because I want to. So it raises a lot of money for the school. Oh, Mai is like the best goddamn wingman. Like, I saw Pro Jared and his now ex play through this, and he doing the Jared route. Mai has a crush on Jared, but if you choose to date Jared, Mai accepts this and goes with PBG instead. Because she's just like, you know what? No. He's interested in you, not me. You got this, girl. Thank you. He gestured dramatically at Mai as if her opinion sealed the deal. That's because we made it a fundraiser. Yes, for Mai he is. But that's only if you pick the Jared path. Mai will end up with Jared in every other scenario. The 5-minute bell. Class was about to start. Jared nodded to us and walked away. Paul opened his mouth as if to say something more, but evidently thought better of it. He headed after Jared with Nick and Josh, thanking them for their help. Being a year ahead of us, their classes would be on the next floor. Mai began to follow them, but I gently pulled her arm. Our classroom was the other way. Jared, if you need any help with the show, I'm here. Her yell echoed through an emptying hallway. Jared Without looking back, raised a hand in acknowledgement. Oh my god, Senpai noticed her. Wincing, I dragged her into the classroom. After the drama that morning, I wasn't quite sure what to expect at lunch. I dawdled on my own, making up an excuse about copying notes, hoping whatever tension remained would dissipate while I was gone. When I got to the cafeteria, my plan succeeded. Hana, we saved a spot for you. Get over here. Mai sat at the Normal Boots Club table, looking like she completely belonged. She waved me to join her. Sat down next to her at the edge of the table. Josh was across from me. We had eye contact as I sat down, so I nodded slightly to him. He nodded back. I felt accepted. Hey, Hana, how was class? Good, thanks. PBG might have already told you, but we're working together on a project. It's going pretty well. I'm doing the pit. Is that Gerard back there? In a shy moment, not wanting to look Nick in the eye, I glanced aside and saw Gerard in the back of the cafeteria with someone I didn't know. Everyone turned to look. He's probably doing some trading. Satch waved a hand. So I brought a new drawing tablet the other day, hoping I could use it to make plans for my machine. Satch changed the subject, and everyone started talking about that. I, however, kept my concentration on Gerard, who was holding a small figure. Same with the girl he was talking to. What were those they were trading? Gerard the Finish. No. It's Pro Gerard the Finishist. That's what the fake name is. I still find it hilarious that Pro Jared and Gerard have both had people... Yeah, Pro Jared and Gerard have both had people come up to them and ask them if they are the other person. And you know what? The Beard Bros had Pro Jared on a few years back to do Secret of Mana. And Alex Fasciani, like, one of the first things he said is like, all right, now, can you guys confirm now for everyone to hear, you are not the same person? And I think Jared didn't even give a proper straight answer. Those are itty bitty kitties. They're really popular right now. I'm surprised you don't recognize them. They're kitty figures of all different shapes and colors. I have a few myself. You know me, I'm hip to the know about these things. They're pretty cute, but kind of a little girl thing. She shrugged. Gerard is known as the completionist around here, and every time a new thing is popular, he collects them all. Never seen his collections, but I heard they're really impressive. You have to be a dedicated person to do something like that. The completionist? Is that why he was so thorough when giving me a tour? IBK is the thing right now. And last year, too. I think in first year, there were a lot of people collecting silly, slimy snakes. But that got old fast. Teachers didn't like everything coated in a thin layer of slime. Still have one in our room. I can show you sometime. Oh, god damn it. No. Why? I don't know why. Alright. Jared tapped Maya on the shoulder and she whirled around, hitting me in the face with her hair. That's weird. I don't know why that exception happened again. Yes? I wanted to thank you for this morning. Oh no, it was nothing. Definitely. I mean it. As Jared and Maya spoke, my eyes went back to Gerard's exchange. The girl pulled a second figure out of her backpack and held both of them up. Gerard inspected and shook his head. She pulled another one out. Sadly this time, and Gerard's face lit up. He held out his figure and they swapped. How bittersweet, letting go of something you love to get something you would potentially love more. What do you think, Hana? My attention was pulled away. I'd have been listening to the conversation. Huh? Yes or no? Yes? Interesting. Maya gave me a skeptical glance, then turned away. What did I just do? Bowed my head in apology and took one last quick look before the intriguing trade happened. The girl left and Gerard was now talking to a boy with a messy appearance, made exaggerated hand motions. It looked like he just got out of bed. Is this another trade? Alright. So, official announcement in case you haven't heard, we're having a competition tomorrow. Schedule a thing for us to get ready for the tournament. I'm into both. Actually, I just realized, like, if I am, I should probably have the tag. I don't think I care enough to have the tag. Alright. Finally, we've been planning this one since last year's. My attention snapped back to the conversation happening in front of me. This is what PBG was talking about yesterday? Hana, Ma, you're invited if you'd like to come. Either way is fine, but let me know so I can plan. How does it work? It's a little thing, some lighthearted fun to start off the new year. I just right-clicked again, damn it. Fine, save, yes, done, return. I hate my right click. I need a better... I might need a better mouse. I mean, I like this mouse, but the buttons are very sensitive. It's a little thing. Some lighthearted fun start for the new year, blah, blah, blah. Lighthearted fun, my ass. John almost broke Satch's nose last year, and Gerard twisted his ankle. Satch delicately raised a hand to his nose. It was an accident. He forgot the part where he almost passed out from blood loss, Shane. I didn't forget. He looked away. I can never forget. I don't know about this. I'm not very good at video games. Sure you are. Jared will come. Awesome. I'll plan for you to be there. Don't worry, Hana. It's actually fun. You probably won't get hurt. I'm sorry, probably. As much as I was afraid of possibly losing a limb, I really did want to go, and I was glad Maya was there to force me into it. Without her, I would be a lonely transfer, probably eating grass myself at this very moment. Yeah. Hana is very much so a normie, but that's because she kind of didn't have the chance to get to do a bunch of the crap that, you know, all the rest of us did, like nerd out with video games. Her family was very poor. Her father is literally going into debt just to send her to the school. Thanks for inviting us. Of course, it would be rude to have you sit and lunch with us and then ban you from our tournament. Plus, it would be nice to have some new competition. I look forward to winning. The rest of the lunch passed by comparatively uneventfully. Or at least, if anything else happened I didn't notice. I was too busy staring at the food in front of me, joy and horror mixing in my stomach. There was no way I was going to beat even one of these normal Boots boys. I would make a fool of myself, but still, I was getting to go. It was a privilege nobody else shared. Oh, Jesus. Paul looked at me with what seemed like concern, and I smiled at him. He grinned and returned to his food. Least I could do was give it a chance, right? After a long day, class was finally over, and I was ready to go home. Miss Shizuka still wasn't over her breakup, and Maya complained loudly that she needed a new man so homework would stop being so killer. Something to do, though. What else would I be doing if not homework? Studying, probably. Hana, before we go back to the dorms, there's something in A32 I want to show you. Come on. A32, wasn't that the Normal Boots Club room? We're not allowed in there. There's no meeting today, and no one's going to be there either. That's exactly why we need to go now. Maya grabbed my hand and dragged me through the halls. Maya, I don't know about this. What if someone sees us? You act natural. No one will care. There's too many people around. Nobody will be interested in what we're doing. Maya was full of confidence I wish I shared. I really don't think I'm comfortable with this. Maya stopped at the club room door, gently tugging on it. Sweet, they left it open. She pulled me into the club room and shut the door behind us. It's in here. Here was a storage closet in the very back of the room, a plain white cabinet. She stopped short of the door, looking expectantly at me. I tugged the knob, expected to be locked like all storage closets were. The knob didn't move, confirming my suspicions. Relief swept through me. Well, darn, looks like it's locked. Guess whatever you have to show me will have to wait till another day, or maybe never. Oh, I know it's locked. That's why I have these. She pulled a shiny chain of keys from her pocket, eyes sparkling. Shizuka's keys? Who gave you those? No one. I'm borrowing them for a little bit. No harm done. Damn it, Mai. She fiddled with the door handle, going through key after key. I'm seriously uncomfortable with this. Someone's bound to find out. They always do. Finally, there was a small click and the lock relented. Don't worry, Hana. I'll protect you. Mai opened the closet and the light shone down directly on its contents. There they are! There they are! To my utter bewilderment, there sat luminescent... I just right-clicked again. I'm starting to hate my goddamn mouse. There's luminescent gold boots resting on a velvet pillow encased in a glass box. What are these? I stepped closer to the case and was about to put my hand on the glass, but stopped inches before, wrought with guilt. We shouldn't be here. These, Hana, are the boots. The boots. It's a symbol of Normal Boots Club. This is their club room, after all. I'm telling you, these guys don't mess around. It's made of gold, real gold. It must have cost a fortune. I'd say they're solid gold, only worth 100,000 yen or so, but really make sure. Mai's fingers wiggled in front of her face before I could stop her. She opened the glass and lifted the boots from the velvet pillow they rested on. Hi, please be careful. I grabbed the boots from underneath just in case she dropped them. Good thing, too, because they were heavy. The gold was cool and hard to the touch. These boots are definitely not wearable and anything but normal. Mai bounced them up and down, weighing them in her hands. Her arms flexed as she did. I suddenly realized why her pats on the back hurt so much. Volleyball made her strong. Yeah, definitely solid gold. Mimi lied to me. Said they were gold-plated. Didn't believe her, so I had to check. So you dragged me along instead of her? No, they're really not. Like, that's not that much. This display of wealth made my stomach churn. Where they saw a symbol, I saw months of food for my father and I. 100,000 yen just lying in the closet, protected by a single poorly guarded key. Might not be a big deal to the students with rich parents, the majority of the academy, but it was worth more than disturbing to me. Yes, I want you to experience this with me. Saluted by the warm glow of the spotlights, Mai smiled at me. That smile almost made me feel okay being here without permission. Almost. Plus, when we get caught, we'll be okay. There's no way they can punish you. They really like you. What? Storeroom lights flickered on. Both turned abruptly, still holding the boots. Shane stood in the doorway. Yeah. Maybe not that one. You. What are you doing here? The case is supposed to be locked. Well, it was locked. Hi. I'm really sorry, Shane. We heard the boots were kept here and we were curious, that's all. No harm done, right? Here, Mai. Let's give the boots back to him. Yeah, I was just showing her we aren't suspicious. You guys hide it away. How was anyone ever supposed to see it? She handed the boots to Shane, who placed them carefully back onto the case, adjusting the pillow in the center. We hide it from people who aren't in the club, like you. The case clicked shut. Shane, I'm sorry. Do not come back here. Get out of my sight. But I am containing my anger now, but your continued presence is making that ever more difficult. I gulped. Mai and I dashed out the door. Shane slammed the door behind us. Do you think he's going to tell the rest of them? I really hope not. I might have ruined my reputation with them. I think you mean I might have ruined your reputation with them. She threw her head back and laughed, not quite grasping the consequences of her actions. You'll be fine. I'll even be fine. They're students just like us. It's not like we stole it. Shane, he was really angry. That's just an act. Don't worry about it, Hana. I said I would protect you, right? Her words seemed genuine enough, but I had a hard time believing her. It was almost as if she planned for us to get caught. Okay. Good. Now let's head back to the dorms. The competition is tomorrow, and I don't plan on losing due to lack of sleep. The tournament, I completely forgot. Would they even let us participate considering what we just did? Oh, like I said, she is wigman extraordinaire. Mai hummed happily as she skipped down the hall, somehow impervious to my anxieties. Heart heavy, I followed her. Only time would tell. Saturday dawned bright and harsh. The cloudy light outside mirrored my gloomy mood as I quickly dressed and woke up Mai. Mai, it's time to get up. It is, but she's... she's got her own romance she's going for. But yeah, I would probably try going for her on my own if she was an option. But again, I'm pretty certain that she's not. The video game competition. Remember, we're playing Stupendous Stomping Sisters today. Mai shot straight up out of her bed. Oh my God, Jared! I can hang out with Jared today. She catapulted from the top bunk and sprinted out to the hallway. I heard crashes and shrieks as she massacred other girls to get to the bathroom. The sun slowly rose through the window. Everything would be just fine, alright? Soon Mai returned, fully dressed and raring to go. Come on, Hana, let's go. Wait, it's the weekend. Why are you in your uniform? She grabbed my hand and dragged me out to the campus commons. Her incessant tugging hurt, but I followed her silently. Even more strangely, she wasn't talking either. Our nerves had gotten the better of us both. We wandered the halls of the boys' dorm, making our way to 402. The dormitory itself smelled awful, like stale Dorito chips. Wondered how I never noticed and realized it the first time I came on the weekend. Rather than wandering campus all day for classes and clubs, most people were sleeping in or hanging out in their rooms. Mine slowed down as we climbed the stairs, staring at the floor. The closer we got, the slower we progressed. We opened the 4th floor door and crossed the hallway. Finally, we stood in front of PBG and John's door. You should knock. What? Me? You should knock. You got here first. Yeah, but you're their friend. Well, you know them better. But you've got pink hair. Is there a problem, ladies? We both froze. Sense of ham wafted through the air.
Good morning.
Hello, ladies. Is there something wrong with the door? Oh, no. We didn't want to wake them up in case they were still sleeping. Jared let out a low-throated laugh. I don't think they'd mind having you wake them up. My eyes almost rolled into the back of her head. Here, allow me. He leaned between us and tapped on the door. He was surprisingly tall, and being some 10 inches shorter than him, he towered over me, looked down at me and winked. The door flew open. Hey guys, glad you could make it. It'll be a bit squished in here, but it's better than nothing. What, we couldn't get the classroom this year? I jumped. Shane stood behind me, expressionless. I didn't even see him come. Yeah, it turns out Hidden Block decided to book it for the same day. I wonder what for. John snorted somewhere in the background. I'm not sure your room is better than nothing. Oh, Shane with the zingers. That wasn't a zinger. Are you just going to stand outside or are you coming in? We stepped through the threshold, fully and completely entering PBG and John's room. Boy territory. We were out of our element. Maya had never been in the room before, and she glanced at the walls, shelves, and desks and like a manic squirrel. Her eyes gleamed, and I had the sneaking suspicion she was making note of what she saw for her own nefarious purposes. Though what they were, I had no idea, and I just realized that is a poster of the fucking Duck Hunt screen. What? Who has that? Who just has that? That is a nightmarish game, damn it. Rather, I didn't want to know. Go on, take a seat anywhere. I looked to my left and saw boxers laying on his desk chair. Blood shot into my face. Were they used? PG followed my gaze and turned red. Let me clean up a bit. Pigsty. Do they have pigsties in England? Everything in America is derivative of England. But we're in Japan. Shane looked at me blankly. Man, we're so lucky OUIU has 8-player stomp. I'm excited to crush you, Shane. I don't think it's gonna happen. Hello, guess who's here? Gerard entered without knocking, a bright smile on his face. Oh man, Shane got here before me? Did you fail to see me leave? I was hoping you were in the bathroom or something. We brought extra controllers. Does nobody knock around here? No, why would we? To be polite? Girls and their ridiculous social constructs. What? An intricate knot clattered through the entryway, and I pointed towards the door in defiance. See, someone knocks. Hello, I brought bagels. Figured we didn't want to repeat of last year. My stomach grumbled, and she turned red. That's what I thought. That's my husband. What? You're the best partner anyone could ask for. You're truly the best of us. Can't you just ask for one normally? I brought enough for everyone. Jared leaned his head against Satch's shoulder, then turned to whisper in his ear. I knew I could trust you. Okay, well, everyone pick a pace to seat. We'll hand out bagels, and then we'll get started. I scuttled to the side of the room against PBG's bed and next to Mai. We've been sitting with them at lunch, but it wasn't until just now that I realized how crazy having all the Normal Boots guys in one room could be. 9 adolescent men in one room, not to mention all friends, all part of the same club. Their personalities mingling in different ways, and I almost couldn't focus over the myriad of inside jokes, shouting voices, and flailing limbs. That is until the character selection screen came on. In the blink of an eye, the controllers were gone. PG glanced over at me and noticing I didn't have one, offered me his. No, really, I'm not good at these kinds of games. There's no way you're worse than me, or Jimmy for that matter. Things he didn't want to take no for an answer, I grabbed the controller and selected my character. Derby! He was cute and bouncing, and even though he didn't seem super powerful, he looked like an easy enough character for a beginner to grasp, although there's something in his eyes and beak that seemed a little... Alright, so first off, this is clearly a jab at fucking Super Smash Brothers, so I have to guess Turby is a jab at Kirby. And if that's the case, Kirby is a goddamn beast in Smash Brothers. You know how to use that pink little bastard. He's fantastic. And no, I don't know how to use him properly. I am a terrible Kirby player. Yeah, they nerfed him. They nerfed him a little bit, but come Melee, you also had Jigglypuff, and the pink puffball of terror kind of is beastly. And again, I think Jigglypuff has been nerfed recently. I haven't actually used Jigglypuff in Ultimate yet, so I have no idea how she is. I main Ridley because it's fucking Ridley, and Actually, May, I don't think I've ever talked to you about my video game preferences now that I think about it. Pretty much, if it's a Metroid game, I fucking love it, and that includes Other M and Federation Force. Ridley is my absolute favorite villain because he is the main villain of my favorite game series. So, yeah, when he got announced in Ultimate, I was so happy. I was certain he was never going to be in it, but oh god, he's so much fun. Anyway, is everybody ready? Yeah, I think that they've been nerfed down to there. I keep up on it, just getting like the DLC characters and everything. Since my state is actually going to be opening up by July, I can actually start having people over again, and I'm actually doing that next month. So I'm glad that I have all of the characters because I'm going to have a bunch of people over. And we're probably going to want to play a little bit because I only ever play Smash when I have friends over. I don't tend to play it on my own unless I got a real hankering just to go through a story mode. I swallowed hard. The controller already slippery from sweat. I never played Stomp before, though I watched others do so. Looked at the buttons on the controller, trying to guess what button did what. One of the top buttons probably jumped. Obviously, the analog stick moved the character. They selected the stage. Something with cute little houses and a smallish animals bopping around the background. Oh my god, they picked the Animal Crossing stage. And the countdown began. No. No. Okay, there are buttons on the back that clicked when you hit them, but I didn't know what they did. 3. Oh, there's a weird blue button on the top right, but not on the left. Okay, it's a GameCube controller. Okay. 2. And another analog stick? What was that for? The camera? How could we all control the camera at once? 1. Oh no. Go! Die, Shane, die! What the hell? Attack everyone, not just me? But you're my mortal enemy. Josh, what was that for? I'm not even fighting you. You were wide open and death waits for no one. You're next. The battle began in a display of slight mercy. The boys left me alone to wander the field and get the sense of my character. Oh, that does jump. I hit the jump button again and again and again, watching my character float higher and higher towards the sky. I can fly! My joy was cut short as an Noki ball emerged from nowhere and pegged my pink blob in the eye. Fell off the side of the screen despite trying to jump back up. It wouldn't let me. Why? Kirby can kind of hover for a while, but eventually he gets too full of air and has to land. Otherwise, he'd be OP. Oh. When in doubt, down B. Down B? In the commotion of the match, curses and death threats mixing with the clacking controllers, nobody was listening to what Nick was saying. The key to getting someone to hear you in this competition, seemed, was shouting the names at the beginning of your sentence. What, that Kirby can't fly forever? I think it's just because he doesn't. I don't think that he's getting that. It's the air that's making him float. It's the act of inhaling it that's making him pop up. So when he can't inhale anymore, he's not going to pop up anymore. He's just going to fall. He weighs more than the air he's taking in, and I think that's what it is. I am breaking down the science of motherfucking Kirby. Gerard. Satch. I frowned as my pink little blob fell back onto the mat. Following Nick's advice, I hit down B. Cloud appeared around my pink guy and he became a rock. What? I don't understand. What would a rock do? I repeated the move multiple times, always turning into a rock of some sort on the ground, never hurting anybody near me. Suddenly an explosion rocketed to the ground and Kirby flew into the air just as I hit down B. To my surprise, he formed in a rock and fell directly onto John's head. His Nario was sent flying off the screen and died. Oh my god, she accidentally killed Mario! You're on my shit list. I'm very sorry. Didn't take long after that for me to die 5 pitiful, painful deaths. As my little Kirby tumbled off the screen for the 6th and final time, a small surge of pride hit me. I killed John. The Jontron, even if by accident. Had my control of mind, sat back, completely satisfied. You know what? You take the little wins. If you, like, I got a friend who's really freaking good at Smash Brothers, and if I can down him, like, once, whenever we battle, I'm happy. Or the fact that it was my turn, so I jumped back in, eager to find other strays for murdering my friends and potentially stirring up a hit list of a mile long. So this was the joy of games. I love video games. After playing a few rounds, the official tournament started. People played one-on-one matches against each other, slowly thinning out the competition over time. Maya went before me and was, rather unfairly, paired against Jared. Every blow he doled out to her was, in her mind, some sort of actual physical contact. At least judging by the way she shivered when she was hit, it was. Unsurprisingly, she died almost immediately. I was the last person set to go against PBG. The others chuckled as we passed the controllers. Don't worry, Hana. PBG's the easiest of all of us. You're bound to beat him. Oh, come on, guys. Don't worry, Hana. I'll go easy on you. I nodded as PBG picked the most level playing field, a small platform floating out in space. Oh, Final Destination. Hold up. Fox No Items Final Destination? The match started and PBG graciously held his player still. Go ahead and test your moves. No, that's really nice of you, PBG. Yeah, real nice. This is my moves, and while doing so, my hand brushed against the yellow stick. Kirby did a menacing low kick, and my eyebrows raised. That looked powerful. Ready to go? I think so. PBG charged at me across the screen, and when he came close enough to hit, I pushed the yellow stick in his direction. He flew across the screen. My mouth fell open. PBG crit his teeth. I see how it is. No more Mr. Nice Guy, then. I personally doubted that PBG had a non-nice bone in his body, but the match had begun. It was a long battle, surprisingly long battle. We seemed to be evenly matched. Right up until the very end when I smashed him off the screen with Kirby's hammer. What? I set the controller down quietly, not particularly happy about having crushed PBG in my second ever match of Stomp. I don't know. But I like that that's quite clearly Smash Brothers, but they're changing it up so that Nintendo doesn't throw a hissy fit. Because this is actually something I had to buy. They don't ask for much, they just ask for donations. You pay however much you want, but it's still them making money off it, and Nintendo would stop that. PBG nodded solemnly. I guess I lost then. Damn, Hannah, that was some natural-born talent right there. I don't really think so. Anyway, the next match is Shane versus Paul. PBG remained quiet for a while after that. It wasn't until the third round that he joined in again, cheering in with the rest of the guys. My match rolled around, but this time I was against Jared, and this time I lost in only a few minutes. Set the controller down again, happy to no longer have responsibility over the life and death of inanimate pixels. As I did, I saw Paul lean in to whisper something to Shane, whose eyes flew wide open, and then his face shut down over my dead body. Their eyes slid to me, and I looked away. They were talking about me, weren't they? I scooted over to Mai, feeling more comfortable near her than near any of the guys. We cheered for Jared right up to the very end. He lost to a supernaturally agile Shane, who was seemingly being fueled by the rage of 1,000 demonic toddlers. Everyone, that was a great round. Looks like we're in even better shape than last year. Well, all of us except PBG. That was uncalled for. Totally deserved. Anyway, I'm tired. So get out of my room, please. He grinned broadly, not finding anything wrong with how summarily he dismissed us. Maya and I gathered our things and left the room with the others who, laughing and joking, dispersed in all different directions. Together we shuffled home. We fell through the doorway exhausted and barely enough energy to change to our PJs. Maya leaped into her bed with a happy sigh. Oh, Han, I'm so glad you came to Asagao. As if this couldn't have happened without me here. Maya shoved her face into her pillows and emitted a muffled reply. Yeah, whatever you say. I fell into my bed, staring at the rungs that kept Maya and her mattress from collapsing on me and smothering me to death in the night. That was really fun. Video games are fun, Maya. Really? She shuffled around on top of her bed. I mean, I thought it was okay. It was passable. Don't know if I call it super fun or anything. No? I loved it. She chuckled. Seems like you found your calling. Ha ha ha. Sure I have. Above me, Maya yawned. Let's go to sleep. I'm exhausted. Smiling, I got up and turned out our light. Good night, Hannah. Good night, Mai. Yay! As the chill weather of early spring faded and warmth stretched across Asagao, I itched to go outside. With Satch's book in hand, I took to the streets. As many people realized how rare this moment was, most of the usual benches and grassy spots were taken. I kept walking until I came to the soccer field, and there was a practice game being held, and PBG and his friend Jeff were running across the field. Being a skirmish, the bleachers were almost completely empty. Students scattered the shiny metal seats, but there was more than enough room for me. In one swift motion, Practiced many times over in my life, I sat down, spun my backpack into the space next to me, and pulled out my book. I was nearly done with it, and I wanted to see if I could finish it today. It was due a few days ago, so I was under pressure. At a pause in reading my book, I looked up to watch PBG on the field. A shock of color at the base of the bleachers caught my eye. It looked like some kind of metallic candy wrapper, and a pang of annoyance struck me. There was a trash can nearby. Why litter? As I jumped down the steps of the bleacher and nearly slipped off one, it became clear that it wasn't trash. Colors changed with the angle the light did. It was an iridescent purple figurine. Itty bitty and a kitty. Was it Gerard's? Is he the only person I knew that collected them? I held it up to the nearest student, who shook his head. I was free for a while. Gerard was really into the IBK scene, so if it wasn't his, he'd probably know who it belonged to. No problem. I had no idea where his room was. Immediately at that moment, PBG ran off the field to get a drink. I, approaching him, holding the kitty in front of myself like a talisman. Hey, PBG, do you know Gerard's room number? I think he dropped this. Held the kitty up again and glimmered in the sun. Much like PBG just now, with all his physical activity. Oh, Gerard was just here. He has to be his. I asked him to bring me my goalie gloves. I wasn't ready to take McJones' place today. His room is right across from mine. Oh, great. Thank you so much. Hurry up, PBG. PBG groaned. It wasn't much of a break. Gotta go. Good luck. He took a huge gulp from his water bottle, then poured the rest on his head and jumped back into the game. His teammates patted him on the back as he rejoined them. Placed the IBK into my uniform's Liputian pocket and headed to the Bluebell. There. As I entered Bluebell House, a passing boy frowned at me. Was I even allowed here by myself? I shook my head. There was no time to be afraid. Today I had a mission. Just as PBG said, there was a door right across from his room. I knocked and fished the IBK from my pocket. Shane answered the door, not at all pleased to see me. Hi, Shane. How are you? He was Gerard's roommate? Why? Oh, why was he Gerard's roommate? Tried to laugh to defuse the situation, but it was weak. I felt like I was only making things worse. I didn't know what went on in Shane's mind. He looked at the IBK in my hand. Gerard should be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'll just wait in the common room. When he gets back, can you tell him to try and find me? I could read downstairs. Even took Gerard an hour to get back. I could keep myself occupied. Shane sighed and leaned against the doorframe. I could tell him, but it would be much easier if he waited in here. He put his hand out, gesturing me inside. All right, thanks. Ah, nice little place. I like his computer right there. Yeah, Shane and Gerard got a nice... I always like the look of these. Like the free-hanging bookshelves. That is so cool looking to me. I think it's a missed opportunity over here on Gerard's side to have like some kind of Final Fantasy VII reference. Like it just... That screams Gerard. I entered the room and stood smack in the middle of it. Shane plopped into the chair in front of what must have been his desk. I sat down... No, but it's a school dorm. You're not going to have a lot of space. Shane plopped down in a chair in front of my desk. I sat down in what I assumed would be Gerard's chair on the opposite side. Shane swiveled around and started to click something on his laptop. Seeing as he wasn't much for small talk, I turned to observing the room. Their room was well decorated, one could say. There were a lot of itty-bitty kitties, each arranged neatly with its brethren of similar design. Every empty space not filled with school-related object was covered in the pads of cute little cats, or at least a sealed box of one. Even parts of Shane's shelves had IBK on them. I had to admit, it was kind of endearing. Something about the dedication required was sweet. Do you collect itty-bitty kitties too? Not really. They're Gerard's. I don't mind. You see, it's kind of niche. I'm surprised you're into them. Oh no, I don't collect them. I just found this one on the side of the field. You just said Gerard was there earlier, so I came to find out whether it was his. My hastiness to disown the figure did not go unnoticed by Shane, who made a face at me. If it's not Gerard, she'll probably know who it is, right? It's probably Gerard's. I smoothed my thumb over my plastic kitty absent-mindedly. Shane returned to whatever he was doing online, and I conversed with the figure in my hand. Who's a pretty kitty? Who's a pretty kitty? You are! Gerard came back in about 2 minutes later. Hey, Shane. Give me a second to save quickly. There we go. And Hana? He held 2 coffees in his hand, suddenly turning pink. And what are you two doing in here alone? Together? We're not doing anything. Hana was looking for you. Really? How can I help, Hana? He gave coffee to Shane and offered the other one to me. Here, take mine. I would have gotten you one too if I knew you were here. It's really nice of you, but no thanks. I just came to see if this is yours. For like the 10th time in the last half hour, I displayed the itty-bitty kitty. Oh, yes! Gerard almost dropped his coffee as he leaped forward. I lost this today. Where'd you find it? It was near the field. PBG told me you were there earlier, so I wanted to give it back to you. Handed the figure to Gerard, who looked about ready to kiss it. Thank you, Hana. Thank you. You didn't have to do this, but you did. And I don't know what I would have done without you. Not any trouble at all. It looked pretty rare. It's not as rare as you would think, but it's still very special to me. I'm so glad you were the one to find it. I shouldn't have been so careless. Don't beat yourself up about it. What matters now is that you have it back. Maybe zip up your pockets next time? You bet I'd take a load of precautions to make sure this never happens again. He placed it delicately on the shelf with the other kitties that had the same iridescent properties. Gerard looked at me while I viewed his hard-earned assemblage. Oh, duh, Gerard, you dummy. How rude of me not to at least introduce you to my collection. Sorry. In this room, I have 247 itty-bitty kitties of every shape and size. What the shit, Gerard? This newest set, the Catastrophes, they're a band. They're really popular right now. I traded my extra rares for these the other day. The one you brought back to me is from a set of 4 that are called Opalescents. Currently, they're the only shinies. They were so pretty, my gaze fixated on them. I'm just missing the last Opalescence, a purple one, Princess Pumpernickel. I've tried everywhere, but no one has them in stock. There's only 3 copies in the world, so it's not really surprising. Nah, he's fine. He's just doing what he does. He needs to complete his collection. I mean, hell, if you saw my collection of shit, you'd probably think I need help. I do need help. Anyway, it's more surprising that I managed to get these ones. I have one of the most complete collections in the world. People think that the Kitties Company gives me the newest figures, but I earn all my IBK. I can tell this took a lot of hard work. Amazing how much effort you put into this. He sighed heavily and sat down on his bed. Thanks, Hana. I just wish I could get that last figure. I wish I could finish my collection and the kitties would all have their friends together in one place. Wish I could help. Don't worry about it, Hana. This is my battle to fight. I nodded and glanced over at my watch. Oh, I should go. I really want to finish my book today, but if you ever need help, I'm here. I stood up, then waved to the both of them. Bye, Hana. Thanks again. See ya. Well, Shane seems to have, grown past his anger of us touching the boots. Thankfully, I managed to finish my book. It took more time than expected, though, and by the time I got back to my room, it was dark outside. When I opened the door to my room, the lights were off. I flicked them on, and the huddled form of Mai hugging a stuffed purple bear appeared on the bed. Hello. I'm back. Mai glanced at me and buried her face again in her bear. Was she sulking? It's unlike her to be so unenergetic. Are you okay? That doesn't sound very okay. Mai glanced at me again, her face light shade of pink like she was holding her breath. You know you can tell me anything. You've helped me out a lot, so it's the least I can do in return, right? Besides, we're friends. Mai sighed and threw the bear on the floor where it lay as if screaming in agony. It's not fair, she sighed again. I know it's terrible to think like this, but even though I'm really happy for you getting me friends with those guys, it's just not fair. Those guys, who? The Normal Boots Club? Just that I've been a fan of them for so long, and I've loved Jared forever, and here you come out of the blue with your pink hair, and just like that, you're friends. She bent her fingers in front of her face. But here I've been trying this whole time, and Jared didn't even know my name. I know I'm being stupid, and I feel bad, but still, Mai smiled weakly at me. They wouldn't be my friends if it wasn't for you. I'm gonna sleep. She turned over and closed her eyes without even taking off her uniform. I turned off the light and walked to the bear she threw in the middle of the room. Oh my god, what's with the yawning? I'm sorry too. I said it quietly, but even as the words left my lips, I knew they were a lie. I'm still in chapter 1. Despite our slight confrontation last night, Mai was peppy as usual the next day. I think there was no reason for me to worry, but that didn't mean I didn't. The bell rang and class started. Miss Shizuko wrote origami flowers on the board in an ornate script, and then turned to stare at the class. The flower festival is only a few days away. It's time again to start folding flowers to sell for the school. We do this every year, guys. I don't want to hear any groans. You're free to write me an essay on the importance of these funds for the school if you'd rather not participate. These students rolled their eyes, but I smiled. It sounded kind of fun. I hadn't folded origami in years. I'm handing out practice sheets because I know how bad you guys are at origami. I'm only going to teach you once, so pay attention. Shizuka returned to the front of the class, picking up an ornate green paper. As she instructed the class, I realized that these are the most basic versions of origami flowers. I was already familiar with them. I folded my practice paper with ease while Shizuka roamed the room, helping the students who struggled to follow along. These creases are weak. Kindergartners could do better than this. Hell, my ex could do better than this. Sadness passed across Miss Shizuka's face. She turned to the boy next to her and slammed her hand on his desk. You need to be better. Be better for everyone's sake. Wow. It seemed like quite a few students were having trouble. I went to the front of the class to get some new paper, passing John on the way back to my seat. The paper caught my eye. Oh, hell no. I usually keep my streams on the shorter end, usually about 3 hours during the week, 4 hours on Saturday. That's usually the average, because I tend to actually play games online with my friends after Saturday streams. I would do that actually on stream, but I've never been able to get the chat to work, so I'm not even able to show it off. Also, you remember I mentioned my heart issue from last week that I had. I'm actually still recovering from it, and my lungs don't hold out as long as they normally did. They're actually on... I'm actually kind of straining myself right now, so I tend to keep it shorter. Like, I'm probably going for about another hour or so. And actually, you know what? I'm going to go take a quick break. So I will be right back, guys. I've been going for a while, and I need to get up, stretch my legs, and catch my breath. So I will be right back. Enjoy this peaceful music until I return. And know that I am missing you the whole time. such a dork. But I appreciate you being here. Alright, picking right back. Schoolgirl. Well, that sounds wrong. Alright. You folded this the wrong way. Your flower is going to be narrow if you keep going. I'll be honest with you, Hannah. I have no idea. Yeah, you really can't be. I have no idea what I'm doing. Help me. Kind of looked like he was about to cry. And up by his desk, unfolding and refolding his paper. This looks perfect. You're so good at origami. Did you have to make flowers at your old school too? No, I used to do origami a lot when I was younger. I guess muscle memory just kicked in. Thanks, though. Really? What an odd skill to have. Is it? Please. John clasped his hands around my wrist. Stay with me. Help me. Sure, if you need it. I knew I could count on you. Thank you, Hannah. You're a goddess. I spent the entire rest of class period slowly doling out lessons to John and PBG. I offered to help Shane, but he turned away from me, instead watching over John's shoulder. Kept my movements large and exaggerated so he could see too. It's nice to feel useful. When class was over, I... M. Sand with the resub at tier 1. Oh, subscribed with tier 1, but I know you meant to resub if you were able to, but since I was not available last week, kind of hard to. So I appreciate it. When class was over, I headed back to my dorms with Mai. We had a long night ahead of us, filled with homework and the possible reward of chocolate ice cream should we finish on time. Oh, Jesus, dude. Don't destroy your data. Hotspots can get expensive real fast. Weird that your internet's giving you... I did see the text message when I stepped away that you're still having issues. That's weird that you're struggling so much. Although I'm not one to talk, I have just as many internet issues. Though I think you might be trying to take my crown. And it's a crown I'm okay with losing. When class is over, I headed back to the dorms with Mai. We had a long night ahead of us, filled with homework possible. Oh, I read that already. My bad. Before I got far, someone called my name. Hannah! Jeff, is everything okay? Hey, the Normal Boots Club has a meeting today. PBG forgot to take his soccer uniform with him. He held up a blue and gold uniform. You won't have much time to change before practice if he doesn't have this, and I have to run down to the field. Can you take it for me? Of course we can. Maya grabbed the uniform from Jeff. Awesome, thanks. The thing about Finland is that we basically have no limit to phone plans at all. Poor Well, it's not even so much his phone plan. It's his home internet that's causing the issues. Because he shouldn't need to do this with his phone plan. But, I mean, if he's using the same provider as me, which I think he is, the provider's a piece of shit. They have terrible customer service, and in my experience, I've called and told them about an issue I've had with my internet. No, it's not that it's limited, it's that his connection is just unstable, which is an issue that I have as well every now and then. And I've called my provider and told them about it, and they have told me there's absolutely no problem. Your internet is perfectly fine. It's like, oh, so so the fact that I'm not connected to the internet right now isn't because the internet is down. Look, pretty much it's a mess. He dashed towards the field. My turn to me, victory running through her face. Finally! Chance to see Jared in his element. Come on, Hannah, we've got to hurry. We approached the Normal Boots club room, hearts thumping nervously. At least I assumed Mize was, judging by the way she was fidgeting like a hummingbird on acid it was. We stepped up to the door and were about to knock when I heard my name on someone's lip. Hannah. I froze and turned to Mai. Her face was lit and she pressed a finger to her lips. She leaned in closer to the door and I followed suit. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is for us. Like, we've looked into new internet providers in our area, but who we have right now is all there is. So in terms of their in terms of the service they provide, they don't provide good service. Like, as a whole. I am not afraid to say that out loud and shit on them. I'm not going to say their name because, hell, they might end up, just cutting my internet, and I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, May, we deal with a lot of bullshit over here. Finland sounds like it's a lot better about this. She's getting close to the door and I followed suit. Dude, I think it's fine. What do you think she's gonna do to us? You need to calm down. But it's so pink. No one has hair like that. People can't choose their hair color, Shane. That's a really poor reason to judge someone. I know, but I don't trust people with pink hair. You know there's more to it than just the color. Don't deny it. Weird things always happen around people with pink hair. Sure, but they're not dangerous, aren't they? For the most part, our data isn't limited. My wife and I only just recently got the warning about the limit on our data, and that's only because I got a PS5 and I was downloading a bunch of crap on it. So it's like, yeah, we have limits, but it's not like it's a limit that we ever fucking hit. But with M. Sand using a mobile hotspot on his phone, that's going to suck up any data he had real easily, and it will cost more on his phone plan. My heart sank. I stepped away from the door, unwilling to hear more. Hannah, I put up my hand and shook my head, just when I thought I was beginning to win Shane over. Was this how he truly felt about me? I'm heading back. But... Stepped past her, walking quick as I could back to the dorms. Luckily, I didn't pass anyone on my way back. I didn't think I could manage to small talk without bursting into tears after what happened. I kicked off my shoes and went to set my backpack down on my desk, passing the mirror. Paused as I did so, turning to the mirror, valuing myself on a whole new level. So much grief. My hair caused me so much grief over the course of my life. Now, for some reason, Shane thought it was suspicious. I smoothed my hair with my hands, the shortness of it catching me by surprise. It was softer when it was long. I remember down like the first 400 episodes of One Piece when I was a teen, so I don't have a data cap. It was very nice. Well, I mean, the first 400 episodes of One Piece, I can't imagine they take up too much space as a whole. Also, I just use Funimation for that shit, and I'm like, I don't know, 500 episodes in, I need to actually watch more. Because at this point, I've invested over 500 episodes into this fucking show. I gotta just see it through to the end now. With a sigh, I turned away and collapsed on my bed, hugging Mr. Bunny to my chest. Should I dye my hair, Mr. Bunny? I raised him up, staring into his glassy eyes. Yeah, you're right. I rolled onto my side, squeezing Mr. Bunny to my chest. Satch said it himself. You don't choose your natural hair color. Okay, 70, you know what, that's fair. 70 gigabytes 10 years ago, that's actually a lot. Hang on. Ooh, those cookies are smelling delicious. Wife and I are having guests over, and she's playing housemaker right now and just baking a bunch of crap, and oh my god, it smells good. Mr. Bunny was small against me, and I smiled at him. At least he still liked me. Shaking my head, I went to my desk. I had better things to do than mope. I will send none. I shall devour them all like the glutton that I am. You're still studying, Hana? I took my headphones out of my ears and turned to Mai. Our plans for that evening were postponed, and I silently thanked her for not pushing me to keep them. I wasn't in the mood anymore. Yeah, it's only been a few hours. You haven't moved since I left the room last. She climbed her bed and dangled her hands off the side. At least take a break, okay? Well, I have been meaning to return the book I checked out. It was overdue and I had to do it at some point. I was going to do it today, but after what happened, it was the last thing I wanted. That didn't make it any less overdue, though. Go do that. Meet me at dinner afterwards. If you're going to spend the rest of your life studying, at least be nutritionalized. I stretched, bending backwards to apologize to my back for the hours of arching over a desk. I would have a hunchback by the end of my school career, I was sure. You're right. I'll go. I'll see you at dinner. It was pretty late when I finally got to the library. No one came at this time unless there was a term paper due. Since it was still relatively early in the year, the room was barren. Satch was working at the desk as I expected. He was joined by PBG and Paul. As I saw them, I turned around trying to walk right back out, but... Hey, Hana! Unfortunately, my hair also made me stick out like a sore thumb. I reluctantly joined them at the counter. What's up? Not much. Taking a study break to return the book I checked out. I took the book out of my bag and handed it to Satch. That book, I can't help but notice you're reading The Princess Betrothed. It's good, isn't it? Yeah, I never would have read it without Satch's suggestion, so I have to thank him. He nodded and put the book on the to-be-sorted shelf. No problem. I don't work in the library for nothing. I have another suggestion for you if you need one. No, thanks. I want to get back to the dorms. Oh, come on. It's almost dinner. Let him check out this great book for you. Then we can all go to the cafeteria together. Well, alright. It's the last thing I wanted to do, but I was really bad at showing people that I didn't want to talk. Follow me to the fiction section. Set off through the library, an epic quest for adventure and fortune. My mind raced, trying to think of a good excuse so I didn't have to follow them to the cafeteria. Here it is, the Banana Club. Pulled a bright yellow book off the shelves. The Banana Club was written across it in bold font. Now, I know it sounds stupid. Looks kind of stupid too, honestly, but trust me, one of the most moving books I've ever read. The ending crushed me. Put a fist in his mouth and blinked rapidly. Don't cry now, Satch. I'm going to stop before I spoil everything. He handed the book to me and I gazed blankly at the cover. Thanks, Satch. And, Hana? Huh? Are you alright? You don't look very well. I wasn't really, but of course there was no way I was going to tell Satch that I eavesdropped on the private conversation. I am just feeling a little under the weather. I conjured a fake cough. It sounded pathetic. I think I'm going to skip on dinner too. I'm not feeling well enough. Satch narrowed his eyes and nodded. If you say so, do you still want to read this book? Yes, I do. Your suggestions haven't failed me so far. Okay, let me check it out for you real quick and you can get back and rest. When I got back, PBG and Paul were off on the other side of the room. Paul waving book vehemently at PBG. Satch stepped behind the counter and grabbed my book. You know, if something is bothering you or you're still getting used to the school, we're all here for you to talk to. I know. Transfers have it the hardest around here, and everyone knows that. I nodded. He passed the book to me and I put it in my backpack. Just don't be a stranger, alright? I won't. Thanks, Satch. I'll see you tomorrow. I waved goodbye to him and made my way back to the dorm. Somehow, Satch always knew when I was upset and how to make me feel better. It helped that Paul and PBG weren't acting any different than normal either. Maybe it really was just Shane with the problem. Whatever problem that was. Hana! I looked up and John was standing out in front of my desk, eyes glittering. Yes? I need you in my play. Please, Hana? Eh? John grabbed my shoulders, his arms shaking so much, I felt like I was vibrating. The drama club. Our play this year. We're doing Romeo and Juliet. I've been thinking about it for so long, I couldn't have just anyone, and I wasn't finding anyone who fit my particular needs. Then you come along. I've been watching you. I'm sure you can do it. Please, Hana. I need you. Only you. Do you want me to be Juliet? Just come see what I've been working on. Please, Hana. I don't know. Not really the acting type. I'm too shy. No one will want to watch me. John looked like I just kicked Jacques in the face. But I can at least come see what you want me to do. Awesome. This will be great. Maybe after school in the theater. I've got everything prepared for you. Yeah, great. Oh, now that's settled. Come on, Hana. Let's go to lunch. Oh my god. You are not letting go of that fucking ship, are you? Okay, there we go. He hustled out of the room with bird-like grace. I stared after him. It was like a whirlwind just left. He honestly reminded me a lot of Mai. You coming, Hana? He poked his head around the corner. Yeah. Oh my god, you... You might have been spending too much time with that bird. Man, that test today was brutal. I totally bombed it. I failed miserably. PBG held up his paper. There was a big F at the top. John winced and slowly raised his own failed exam. The two laughed and high-fived. That's not a big deal. I'll just retake it later. I had way better things to do than study. Never thought I'd pass. Gerard and I did wonderfully. Most of our homeroom did. Maybe your teacher teaches differently. Nope, I got an 89. So it's not Miss Shizuka. These two are just massive idiots. I nodded. I didn't feel like admitting to my 93, not after seeing how badly John and PBG did. Wow, that's awesome, Shane. It's like your mind is just made for facts. You totally deserve it. Did you get your 97 raised, Gerard? That's not like you at all, Gerard. Gerard laughed sheepishly. Yeah, I got my 100, to be fair. Would have gotten 100 like normal, but one of the questions could be answered in two ways. I told the teacher, and he changed my score accordingly. I think I got a couple of points. I think I got you a couple points too, Satch. You had to have that 100, didn't you? Did you get a completionist bonus? I take a lot of crap from you guys. That's more than enough to make it worth it. Alright, I'm gonna save it quickly because it's been a while. Day Y. What the fuck does day Y mean? Let me check this. Anything? No, yeah, just day Y. I smiled alongside them, still feeling somewhat out of my element. Shane's comments hung over my head, even now. I didn't think there was much I could do about it. Before class, I quickly filled Maya in on John's position. Oh, excuse me. I'm kind of worried about it. Are you kidding, Hana? He wants you to be Juliet. And he'll be Romeo. Oh, it's so romantic. He's totally hitting on you. I don't know, Maya. I'm not really an actress. I'm bad at the limelight. There's no way he wouldn't have noticed, and I doubt he's hitting on me either. Hana, get a grip on yourself. You're one of the nicest people I've ever met. Any guy would be lucky to have you. That's why you're my best friend. I mean, why else would he make such a big deal out of it? He did seem upset. I might have a point. John is Romeo, me is Juliet. It was corny, but kind of cute. Visions of myself and John in period clothing swept across the stage, floated through my mind. Spotlights glistening in his hair. He leaned in towards me. On guard! No! Romeo, my love. Juliet, this isn't how the story was supposed to go. Romeo. Ah! Whoa, what's wrong? Nothing. Sorry, is class over? Yeah, you're going to the theater, right? After that daydream, it was hardly like I had a choice. I'll see you back at the dorms. Okay, bye. It's okay, Hannah. You can do this. The theater is here, right? The door opened to a gorgeous room with the bright red seats. John was down on the stage, his arm flung to the ceiling. Doth thou protestations relinquish mine famine? Nay. Nay. Jacques, you gotta have a little more intensity. Don't you want to be famous? Nay. Why, you little... Excuse me? Hana! His voice shot up several octaves. Come in, come in, come in. He leapt up the stairs, grabbed me by the hand, and pulled me into the room. I wasn't sure you were going to come. Thank you so much, Hana. You were really the only person I could trust to do this. About that, John, I don't know about this. I'm really not an actress. There's no way I could be Juliet. He stopped pulling me. Who said anything about Juliet? Didn't you? No. That wasn't the part you wanted me to talk to me about? Oh, no, of course not. You're right. You're not suited to Juliet at all. Ouch. He ran backstage, returning with a large inflatable bag. Actually, I wanted you to be... Drumroll, please, Jacques. He tossed the bag on stage, crumpled plastic unraveled, revealing a tree. A tree. You're perfect for the part. You're so shy and quiet. You have an impressive ability to stand still for long periods of time. The other day in class, you stared into space for almost 20 minutes straight and didn't move a muscle. Why do you need actors to play trees? Why is that a trope in storytelling? Like, my school wasn't very big. We didn't have a lot of people, and our drama department did not get a lot of shit at all. But we never had any fucking, anybody playing a fucking tree. Oh. Of course. Why would he want me to play a lead role? It was obvious I wasn't cut out for that kind of thing. I wanted to play Romeo to my Juliet. How ludicrous. What's wrong? Of course I wouldn't be able to play Juliet. No one would think I could do that. Well, it's not that you can't. John wasn't trying to be mean. He just didn't seem to get that it was insulting. I'll think about it, okay? But I think I'm going to go for now. I mean, maybe. I'd buy that, honestly. But it's still, it's one of those tropes where, and I'm not one to say, like, oh, tropes are shit and, like, some of them need to die. But, like, this one, I was a drama kid. I was in the drama department. So was my wife. And, admittedly, I did lighting. I didn't actually do the, I wasn't actually in the plays themselves. But, move, damn it. Thank you. Anyway, I wasn't actually in the plays myself, but, like, I still watched everything, and there was never an issue with that. Hang on just a sec. Mike was just bugging me. If you say so, be sure to give me your answer soon. I'm so ready for this. It's going to be the best play yet, especially with Jacques as our Juliet. Jacques as Juliet. I love you. Goodbye, John. See you later, Hannah. How awful was that? Shut the door to the dorm room, wanting nothing more than to collapse onto my bed. Hey, Hannah. Maya was laying on her bunk upside down, her red hair spilling over the side. Something glinted in her hands. What are you doing? I'm cutting out little blossoms, see? She held a pink cherry blossom to the ceiling. It's so your senpai will notice you. What are you even talking about? You know, senpai always knows the girls when she's outside surrounded by a shower of cherry blossom petals and the wind blowing in her hair. Your guy will definitely notice you with these. A flash of anger ripped through me. Why don't you just save them for yourself? Jared will never notice you without them. Ow! I turned on my heel and stalked out of the dorm room. Holy shit! That was brutal! It was because of stuff like that that I thought John was trying to... No, it's stupid of me to imagine it could happen in the first place. I mean, there's definitely those dirtier-minded ones where that, in fact, does happen. Quite too often. No, it's stupid of me to imagine it could happen in the first place. Man, did I... Oh, it's because of stuff like that. I thought John was trying to... Okay, no, it's stupid. Okay, just making sure that I saw everything. I stepped out of the front of Poppy Hall, crisp evening air wafting against my face and cooling my skin. Faint tinge of smoke threaded its way into my hair, reminding me of days spent cooking with my father. How stupid. Headed for the field, my stomach sinking with every step. Shouldn't have snapped at Mai. No, this was her fault. She was being so nice to me, and I said that awful thing to her. She was never going to want to be my friend again. I stepped at a tree and leaned against it. The sun was rapidly setting, night air growing colder and colder. And though I was shivering, I didn't want to go back inside. There was no way I could face Mai after what happened. What a terrible person I was. I sat down and hugged my knees, pressing my head into my arms. I stayed that way for a long time, trying not to pay attention to what was going through my head. The wind picked up, roaring past me and whipping my hair against my skin. It was so loud I couldn't hear the footsteps until they were right next to me. I looked up. I am so sorry. I shouldn't have snapped at you. I was just upset because I thought John wanted me to be Juliet, but it turns out he wants me to be a tree. I shouldn't have cared so much about it. I'm really just an awful person. Mai let out a peal of laughter. That John, he doesn't mean anything by it. But that is something he would do. He's nice, but he can be a little clueless sometimes. She sat next to me and wrapped an arm around my shoulders. Together, we huddled against the rough bark of the oak tree, somewhat sheltered from the wind. Do you remember what Shane said about my hair? Mai's arms tightened around me. I've been on edge ever since. I don't know how to face them. Even when they're being nice, I'm so afraid they hate me. Sorry, I'm such a coward. Well, it's okay. We're all cowards sometimes. Maybe we should just approach the problems directly, instead of coming at them from the side with flowers and friendship. You want to join the Normal Boots Club, don't you? Yes. Well, I want to date Jared. Neither of these will happen if we keep avoiding the stuff that makes us nervous. Yeah. We want something, we should get it. We should go get it. We shouldn't... Well, just because we're used to waiting for things to happen to us, doesn't mean that they're always going to if we're patient enough. Hana, if you want to join the Normal Boots Club, you have to keep moving forward, strongly without fear, without looking back, right? Yeah. The same goes for you, Mai. Yeah, it does. I rested my head on my shoulders, thankful that she was taller than my paltry 5'2". She lay her head on top of my own. Yeah. I think I'm going to try harder. Nothing good came of me avoiding my problems and being a coward. I can't keep running away. Else eventually, I'm going to run out of places to go. Then I'll break. If I really want to make a new life at Asagao, I have to try. I'm going to be my best self and be myself. I'm going to actually try. Who knows? Maybe Shane will warm up to me eventually. Mai pulled me closer into a hug. That's the spirit. Now you say we get inside. It's freezing. Yes, let's, and thank you, Mai. Mai smiled at me. No, thank you. Let's go. Quickly, there's only 2 minutes left. Giant yellow letters ballooned on my phone screen, blocking several falling cues and preventing me from making more combos and deploying more troops. Damn it, get out of the way. A small yellow plush with a great smiley face waved a sword, and the big bad, a giant, came rushing out of the castle. Smiley man, so we meet again. What are you doing? Ah, you lose. Ah, no. Oops, sorry. Ian, the brutal moose of yore, stood over my shoulder, peering at my phone. What do you want? Yeesh, touchy, aren't we? What are you doing playing such a boring game anyway? Nothing. I was waiting for mine. I was bored. To tell the truth, I was practicing. That game's similar to the one that's going to be in the tournament, right? You lost pretty quickly. Doesn't seem like you're any good. He looked at my phone again and froze. I glanced back at the screen. My score was still slowly totaling, speeding over 100,000 range. Holy crap! How did you do that? Do what? Your score! That's incredible! How long have you been playing this game? I've never seen Ian so animated. If you ask me, I'd almost say he cared about what was happening. I guess 2 weeks, maybe? Only 2 weeks. He put his hands on his chin and thought, if you're this good at this game, you'll be able to learn to play the one for the tournament. What are you suggesting? He glared at me. We both know you love to join the Normal Boots Club, and they need someone to fill puzzle games during the tournament. You need to join the team. I gazed at him, trying to read his face. Could he be pulling my leg? It's possible that I was actually much worse than average, and he wanted me to join the team to drag down the score. Dirty move, but I wasn't sure Ian wouldn't do it if given the chance. Ian sighed. Look, at least give it some thought. That was impressive, and I wouldn't mind having some competition for once. He turned on his heel and ambled to his seat. What was that about? I told her what just happened. Really? He thinks you have what it takes. That would be awesome, wouldn't it, Hana? It was exactly what you wanted. I guess. Not everyone's so enthusiastic about having me on the team, though. Shane's glaring face passed through my mind. I'm sure if you prove yourself, it'll be all right. What are you going to do? I'd like to try. Even if I fail, I'm going to work hard and give it my best. And maybe I can even make Shane and the others accept me. Now's not the time for me to sit around and wonder what else I can do. Ah, the heckin' emote. I love that. I love that because that's based on my favorite boy. Hang on a sec. Ah. Oop. There we go. Now the emotes will go over that. There's my girl. Oh, Hana, you're catapulting through the sky like a shooting star. Bless. What are you going to do next? Talk to them? An image of myself going head-to-head with Shane flickered through my mind. Maybe not just yet. Sensing my unease, Mai shrugged. Well, don't worry about it too much. Ian's part of Hidden Block, after all. You wouldn't help him to have a competition. And besides... Shizuka stalked in, looking furious. Uh-oh. Hang on a sec. Turn to page 394. And that was the end of that. Finally, class was over. I gathered my bags and joined Mai as she headed to the door. Hana? Shane stood before me, shifting from foot to foot. Can I speak to you? A lump formed in my throat. What do you want now? Sure, Mai, go on ahead. If you say so. With a worried tone in her voice, Mai left us alone. Shane waved me out of the classroom and into a nook next to the window. It came to my attention that I perhaps said something that perhaps I should not have said. And that perchance may have possibly bothered you in some such fashion, and as a cause of my words that I said. I'm sorry? Yes, exactly. What? I'm sorry for what I said about your hair. My heart skipped a beat. How did you know I heard that? Mai. She came to my room last night and tore my ear off. Oh, Mai. Mai is such a good friend. I fucking love Mai. My chagrin quickly turned to gratefulness. How many other girls would go to one of the most popular guys in school and chew him out because he was mean to her friend, especially when I wasn't even supposed to hear it? I hope you can forgive me. A weight lifted from my shoulders. Oh no, I'm really happy. Thank you so much for apologizing to me. To be honest, I've been worrying about this for a while now. So, I'm glad you've changed your mind. I didn't say that. I deflated. Look, it's not really about you. Or in a way, it is, but you can't really help that. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Never mind. Look, you have to come with me. I have a surprise. Following Shane around was not something I would particularly like to do, especially considering what just happened, but yeah, okay. Shane grabbed my wrist and led me down the hallway. Probably followed him just as well without needing to do that. Hand holding. The dirtiest thing you can do. Probably, but there were worse things in this world. Yeah. Before long, we were in front of the Normal Boots club room. What is this? Without saying a word, Shane opened up the door and led me in. Inside, the entirety of Normal Boots was waiting, along with a sullen-faced Ian.
Bye.
Well, looks like my work is done. Goodbye. He brushed past me as PBG began to laugh. I know, alright? Hand holding. It's just that. It's too dirty. It's too damn dirty.
See ya.
Thanks, man. See you in the tournaments. So, Hana, I bet you're wondering why Mr. Stoic brought you here. A little bit, yeah. As you know, there's a tournament that happens each year in early spring. This year, the tournament is about a month and a half. We each compete in various events. It used to be an easy win, but with Hidden Block around, things changed. We want to keep our competitive edge. Something happened last year that made it so we no longer have someone competing in the puzzle category. I stand by my decision. So we need someone to take John's place. I don't understand. We all have different categories we're entering in, and half of us have jobs or other clubs we're busy with. We can't exactly take more on. For example, I compete in the invention and game design category. I play retro games, get a higher score than the other fellow by the end of the level, that kind of thing. I play pinball on the machines the arcade provides, and it's the same thing, really. Shane does Mario Kart racing, or at least he will this year. I do competition speedruns, so I gather and accomplish everything in a game as fast as possible. It's just as draining as it sounds. We compete in tag team 80s and 90s arcade. Bleh. We compete in. I keep fucking up their voices. We compete in tag team 80s and 90s arcade beat 'em up. Specific, I know. And I dance. What? Why? Ignore. Okay, I just missed the laugh. That was it. We each have our own fields, and we can't take time to learn a new one. So Ian told us how good you are at Dumbadoom's Revenge. He suggested you enter the tournament as a member of the Norboots Club. Really? Why on earth would he do that? He's won the event every year he's gone to school in this district. He wants a little challenge this time around. And just because we're rivals doesn't mean we're not friends. Anyway, we voted on whether or not you should join the club, and, well, long story short, we've got a compromise. You enter the tournament, and if you win, you get to join the Normal Boots Club. If you lose, well, you don't have what it takes. What do you say? This is amazing. This is exactly what I wanted. This was my chance. But if I lost, doesn't that mean I would lose their friendship too? Be a laughingstock and be left alone again. Hana, you should accept. But where did you even come from? Don't you remember what you told me? No more giving up. Yeah, I do. Okay, I'm going to try. That's how I got the opportunity to join the Normal Boots Club. If I could win the event for the tournament, I'd officially join the team. If I didn't, the club would be more likely to lose the tournament, and I wouldn't get to stick around. All right, gonna save it quickly. Yes, DayZ now. Awesome. It was scary. If I succeeded, it would be worth it. I couldn't sleep at all that night, so when morning came, I put on my uniform and headed to class early. For once, I was eager for the mundane classroom environment. I hoped I would still be racing. It would still my racing thoughts and help me come to terms with my amazingly good fortune. Therefore, I was sitting in my desk, falling slowly asleep, when a hand slammed upon the surface. Listen up. Ah! I scooted my chair away from my desk. Shane glared at me. You are really competing with us in the tournament, and I still can't believe that is happening. Then you would better not let us down. He pulled out the chair in front of my desk and sat down. Let's talk strategy. What? Do you think practice will pull you through the tournament? Despite knowing knowing it was probably the wrong answer, I nodded. Wrong. Other than practice, you need strategy. No, don't right-click. Oh my god, I right-clicked. Okay. I accidentally saved another file. My bad. I could hardly believe my eyes. Shane, the normally quiet, wary, barely speaking Shane, was suddenly on fire and preparing to give me a full lecture on video game strategy. Does this mean my good fortune was over, or... Pay attention. I snapped up straight and scooted my chair to my desk. Yes, sir. Strategy isn't something you just study, and isn't something you only start thinking about when you're playing your game. Strategy is always. Repeat after me. Strategy is always. Strategy is always? He slammed his hand on the desk again. With feeling. Strategy is always. Good. Do you know what that means? In your daily life, you can make choices willy-nilly like an absolute idiot. Or you can make smart, intelligent choices. You can make choices like a winner. Sometimes these go against what we want in the moment. Someone strategizing for a diet would have to pick not to eat a second serving, even if they wanted to, even if they're hungry. It's not always what you want, but it's what you got to do. Understand? I think, kind of. He nodded, seemingly satisfied. The more you strategize in your daily life, the better your mind will get when trying to strategize in-game. Gaming isn't just fun. Gaming is life. He leaned forward, staring me down. Strategy is always. Shane grabbed the bottom of his chair and scooted frantically away, his mission apparently accomplished. He sat at his desk across the room, pulling out a sketch pad and drawing pencils. Then, face calm as ever before, he started to draw. How was that the same Shane I've seen for all these weeks? He heard me. He didn't respond. I turned back to my desk once again, wide awake, Shane's words repeating in my head. Strategy is always. Oh, hey, it's almost time for the flower festival. With everything happening so quickly, it felt almost like it snuck up on me. Have you decided who you're taking yet? Right, I had to go with someone to the festival, but who could I ask? And the guys I knew were the members of Normal Boots Club. Would they want to go with me, and which one should I go with? John was kind of caring, but I was a bit worried he cared too much about Jacques and the play to notice anything else. PBG was easygoing, but something about the way he looked at me still bothered me. Satch was mature and really smart, and he seemed hard to get close to, or was I imagining that? And there was Shane, who, let's be honest, he hated me. There was no way he'd say yes. And then again, he had started to warm up to me. Paul of Continue popped in my head, too, but the last few times I hung out with him, he caused major destruction. Gerard was a caring and friendly, but I wasn't sure if he was interested in me in that way. There was Jared, too, but I looked at I couldn't do that, could I? Well, Oh, so these are the only three that I'm actually close enough to be able to pick right now. I failed at getting close to John, Jared, and the Continue guys. And obviously Shane, but from what I understand, I think Shane is actually one of the harder ones to actually get. I'm going to go with PBG. I pick PBG. I nodded. That is going to be hella adorable, let me tell you. I know he can be a bit silly, but PBG, when he cares about something, he truly cares. He'll be good for you. It's just one date. Sure. Well, go on. What? Go on and get your man. Wait, you mean now? Yeah. Mai hit me on the back and practically shoved me towards the door. As I began to leave, my legs turning to jelly, small pink blobs filled my vision. What? Go. I was tossing cherry blossom petals over my head. Go get Senpai to notice you. Mai beamed at me. No time to talk, Hana. This is going to be your big day. You're a main character. Unless you messed up really badly, you'll definitely get a good answer. I messed up a lot, though. Just go. On the final shove, I was out the door. Now, where would I find him? Of course, PBG was at the soccer field practicing like a madman. I shouldn't have expected anything less. Approaching from the side, shouting to be heard over the sound of balls being kicked to the goal. Excuse me, PBG? PBG, hello?
Hana.
Oh, Hana.
Yay!
Goal? Hey, I guess so. He laughed and ran to meet me on the side of the field. What's up? Well, as you know, the Flower Festival is tomorrow. Oh, yeah, it is. His eyes widened with the realization. He looked at me as if seeing me for the first time. He slowly turned red. So, what brings you here with that information? Oh my god, he is an adorable, stumbling mess. I wonder if Austin is actually like this in real life. But I mean, I've never met any of the normal Boots guys. I'd love to just to shake their hand or something. Because I mean, hell, Gerard and Pro Jared are literally the reason that I even started streaming. Couldn't look me in the eyes. My self-consciousness was mounting. Well, I guess people go to the festival together, so... Oh yeah, they do, don't they? He laughed loudly, too loudly. Yeah, so... If we could go together, that would make me really happy. I trailed off, staring at the ground, my heart drumming like an engine. This was awful. I couldn't even look to see what kind of reaction Whoa! PBG picked me up and spun me around in circles. I grabbed onto his shoulders to keep from being flung from his arms.
Yeah.
Of course I'll go with you. I'm so glad you asked. Really? Of course. There isn't anyone I'd rather spend it with. He set me down and beamed at me. Well, good. I'll say this is great. I got asked by a girl. This is the best day of my life. Oh, geez. I had to get out of here. My heart couldn't take it. Okay, then I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Adorable. And with that, I ran away. I woke up late the next morning, day of the flower festival. I was buzzing with anticipation. Because of that, it took me forever to wake up. Now it was almost noon, and I rubbed my eyes as I rose. Hey there, sleepyhead. Good morning. You slept even later than I did. That's impressive, Hana. I sat up in bed, and something on the edge of my desk caught my eye. What's that? No, that's a letter for you. It came in the mail this morning, so I just said it. I scrambled out of bed and into my desk chair, ripping open the letter. Oh, geez, calm down. It's not going anywhere. Turning away from her, I started to read. Little Blossom, how have you been doing these past few weeks? I'm sorry I haven't found the time to write. Your pa's been working hard lately, and I seem to go right to sleep when I get home. I know things are difficult for you here, and I only hope that you're having a better time where you are now. It isn't the same without you here. I miss your cheeriness and watching TV with you, and most of all, your pink hair bobbing around the kitchen. I know you feel bad about the pressure someone's putting on me, but don't. I do this because I love you. There's nothing I want more in this world than your happiness. I miss you, Hana. Be strong. Your Papa. God, he's such a good dad. My hands trembled, tears filled my eyes. I hadn't written him since arriving in Asagao. As many times a day as he crossed my mind, I'd just been busy with other things. Must be worried sick. From the sound of things, he was also depressed. I missed my father. I missed my home. I missed helping him. I wasn't around to cook him breakfast. He almost never ate. He kept saying it was fine, but he was getting older without Mom there to take care of him. Hana, are you okay? Not my eyes, my sleeve. You missed me adorably ask out PBG. Yeah, I'm fine. I miss my dad. Picked up a pencil and paper and began to write, trying hard to block out the tears. Eventually, Mai turned to her own work and let me be. Dad, I'm doing really great here. This has been the best change of my life. I have a best friend and I might join a club. Oh my God. You're just not letting this go, are you? I even have a date. You sacrificed so much for me to bring me here. I know I hardly gave you any choice the way things are going. I was spoiled and ungrateful, but you always did whatever was necessary for me. I miss you so much, but thank you. I know this is a huge sacrifice. Please eat well and take care of yourself. Remember, 2 glasses of water in the morning and 1 before bed, and have breakfast. Scrambled eggs are easy to make. Draw a smiley face on them and ketchup, just like I would if I was there. I'll send my love through that, so make sure you do it. I miss you. Tell Mom happy birthday. Oh, that became sad. I stood in front of the dorm that night, feeling awkward in my yukata. Students passed me on either side, laughing and shattering anxiously away, a dim red glow on the horizon. The bonfire at the festival. The excitement thrumming through the air made me squeamish. Hey. Oh, wow. I don't hate that look. I actually like it a lot. I jumped. You're here. I am. I smiled at PBG as my tension melted away. With PBG here, everything will be okay. I wasn't sure why I felt that way, but I did. Ready to go? More than ready. Together we walked down the path on the way out of campus. Alright, quick save. I haven't actually been off campus since school started. Really? I've been off campus for a few soccer-related things, but otherwise I haven't either. There's not much going on around here, though. The festival's the biggest thing. As we walked, something struck me as odd. He looked different. Hang on a sec.
Cookie, bro. You want to try it?
Yes. Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, for gluten-free, I think it turned out pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Rachel will be happy.
Yeah, she will. Didn't get a lot, so I'm gonna try and make those hers.
Probably a good idea. The cookies are fucking delicious. Came out really good. You're not wearing your jacket. No. I mean, I have an extra shirt on. You look really different in normal clothes. Yeah, well, you look really different in your yukata. Good different. You're super cute. I mean, his ears turned pink and I laughed. Thank you. As we approached the edge of the festival, an outpouring of drums, laughter, and the calls of people running stalls cascaded into the night. So, what do you want to do first? I don't really know what there is to do here. Stalls lined the sides of the street. Higinbana, where Asagao was located, was a very tiny town, but everyone pitched in for the festival. Restaurant owners pitched in their staples as well as experimental new foods. Cotton candy covered chicken. Ew. Fried butter. What? Sugar crusted yams? Okay, maybe. Painters and sculptors showcased their latest works of art, ranging from vases and cups to paintings of flowers to artistic nudes, doujinshi work, and life-size replicas of the town founder. There was the standard festival games: picking a balloon from underwater using only a metal hook attached to a paper handle, fishing for goldfish with paper hoops, shooting bottles glued to where they stood. Festival games weren't really fair, were they? For someone with so many choices, I simply asked for what came to mind. How about Asagao's stall? Oh yeah, why don't we see how things are over there? BBG led the way through the crowd, and I tried to stay close behind. It was easy at first, but when we came to the main square, the throng of bodies grew thick. Well, this isn't a school festival, it's a town festival, so the doujinshi is definitely from someone in the town. I was so damn short I couldn't see anything beyond the bodies. Ichi's brown hair disappeared in front of me, and I was shoved between backs, butts, and elbows. Excuse me? Excuse me, please? One in pink yukata next to me rolled her eyes and stepped to the side so I had space to breathe, but... Which way did PBG go? I couldn't see him anywhere. Okay, calm down. Just, where was the Asagao stall? It was on the east side, right? But I couldn't tell the direction it was which. The stalls contained much of the same things on either side. Which way was east? Even the sun was gone, or at least blocked out by the lights from the bonfire. What would I do? Ow! The man elbowed me in the cheek and my eyes watered. I hated being short. I needed some place to sit down and gather my thoughts, but I was so lost. Don't cry. Don't panic. Hana! PBG? I had bopping up and down a few feet in front of me. He was jumping to see over the crowds. Hey, I'm right here. I see you. I'm coming. Too relieved to care, I shoved unsuspecting people to the sides and made my way to him. Hana, what the hell? Sorry, Mimi. Not. Yeah, Mimi's a bitch. Hana, PBG, I'm so glad to see you. Rushed to him, clinging on the side of his waist. So scared, and someone hit me in the face. Really? He peeled me off of him and hunched over to look at my cheek. Oh, I think I can see a bruise coming along. Well, ask for ice at one of the stands, okay? Here, take my hand and don't let go. Hand holding? Again? Oh, the audacity. I nodded and took his hand. As we wove through the crowd, I kept his arm stiff to his side. It was like we were part of the same body. EBG was oddly reliable. He hadn't struck me as that kind of person. Not after the project we did together, or oversleeping and missing class, but when you needed him, he came for you. I guess there was a reason he was one of the founding members of Normal Boots. Oh, thank God. With a gasp of relief, he pulled out of the crowd and into one of the side roads. Asagao stall is this way, and we can ask one of the drink vendors for some ice. So glad to be out there. Me too. I hate large crowds of people. It's just hard to breathe. It's hard to treat people like they're people when there's so many. I nodded. Now here, there's no reason to continue holding hands. I expected PBG to let me go, but instead, pulled me along down the street. Did he realize we were still holding hands? I glanced up at him, but he was focused on searching the stalls in front of him, though his ears were a little pink. Was he stressed? Wait, more importantly, I wasn't pulling away either. PBG was this a date? Was this a real date? Shouldn't I know this? I just want to ask him. Maybe I should do something to show that it's one way or the other. What should I do? Did I want it to be a date? I mean, it's technically a date. It's a flower festival. But is it a romantic date? Why didn't I think about this before? Excuse me, can we have some ice? She got hurt. PBG was talking to a red-haired girl at one of the stalls. Wait. Kakusu? Affirmative. Ice will be delivered. What was the happenstance behind this? Some guy just up and elbowed her in the face. He didn't even do anything about it. That is awful. I know, right? Who does that? How can you not feel when your elbow slams into somebody? I guess there's a lot going on, but still. You are a supportive individual. This time, PBG's face turned red. Well, anybody would do that. Kakusu, what are you doing at this stall? Hello, Hana. Don't you have a date? Oops. I glanced at PBG, who was staring at Kakusu as if trying to memorize her every movement. My family owns a restaurant out here, and I am supporting their efforts. Ha! That makes you a supportive individual. Kakusu turned to look at him blankly and opened her mouth. Ha, ha, ha. Your attempt at humor is charming. As Kakusu opened a plastic bag and started shoveling ice inside, PBG leaned down near me. This girl is really weird. Did he not notice? She's always been this way. Don't worry about it. She likes you. Does she? Here's your ice, human. Wait, what? Thank you, human? He really didn't notice. Kakusu beamed at him. That is wonderful. We are friends now. Allow us to be friends. Yeah, sure, we're friends. Kakusu has made a friend. Kakusu is a supportive human. Kakusu has been successful today. Let's get out of here. Bye, Kakusu. Goodbye, friends. We pulled to the edge of an empty-looking stall where PBG held the bag of ice up to my face. Freezing cold and rigid plastic stunned my skin, but held to me as if handling a butterfly. I can hold it myself. It doesn't seem to be swelling too much. That's good. You don't need to worry. It's not that bad. I don't even feel it when we talk. Yeah, but we don't want it to get any worse. Quit worrying. He nodded but didn't seem to hear me. I grinned at him. Give me that. I reached up to grab the bag and grabbed his hand instead. Yeah. He let go and the bag fell to the ground with a soft thud. Sorry. No, it's... God, why was it suddenly so awkward? This wasn't a... Or was it a date? Which did I want? For heaven's sake. I grabbed the bag and put it up to my face. Yeah. Look, they have takoyaki. Taiyaki. Ugh. Takoyaki is something completely different. He left for the stall without waiting for me to follow. I dashed to catch up. His legs were longer than mine, so it took me 2 steps for his every one. I was practically jogging next to him. Slow down. What? Sorry. He eased his pace, and I walked in place next to him. We reached the stall, and he bought 2 of the fish-shaped pastries, handing one to me. Thanks. So, should we continue to Asagao stall? We turned and started walking in silence again. Okay, now it was really awkward, but I don't think it was because of me. PG fidgeted and kept staring into space. He almost tripped over the same kid twice. Something was on his mind now, but what? Are there fireworks at this festival? What? Are you okay? PBG stopped walking and looked at me, his face contorted. What's wrong? Are you feeling alright? I'm fine. There's something I want to talk to you about. I glanced ahead. The Asagao stall was only 2 stalls down, where I could see Mai's red hair appear and disappear from under the covers. She could wait. Sure, what's up? Well, he began to walk again, and I fell and stepped beside him. Did I look familiar to you when we first met? Did he? First day I walked into the Asagao classroom, didn't seem like I had seen him somewhere before. Wait, I think you did. Really? So you'll believe me when I tell you we've met before, right? Wait, what? He looked familiar, but he was also a tall guy with brown hair. There were plenty of those around. I sighed. I'm sorry, I can't remember. He stared at the ground. It's okay, it was a long time ago. When you first showed up in class, you looked exactly like this girl I used to play with when I was little. She would come over to my house and we'd play video games together. Then you mentioned something like that at the stomp match, so I thought... I stopped walking. There was a little boy from my past, but well, ever since the accident... Accident? When I was 11, I bumped my head getting out of the shower. I spent 3 days in the hospital with amnesia. Most of my memories came back in a few weeks, but the memories of the boy I used to play with, only a few of those came back. I still can't remember his name or his face, so if I am the little girl from your past... He cleared the distance between us, taking both my hands in his own. I know you're her. You're Hana. You were my best friend when we were little. You would only use the blue controller for the Nintendo 64 because you said it gave you the powers like a Power Stranger. And you made me use the green one because you said it matched my eyes. I stared at him for a long time, searching his face. There was something about him that was familiar, something that made me feel oddly at home. Hey, I've never seen this storyline before, so this is all new to me. Like, this is actually pretty fucking cool because you can play other storyline or play for the other storylines, and you'd never have any idea that PBG and Hana actually had a past. That's pretty fucking cool. But if the memories were lost somewhere inside of me, they were too far gone for me to reach. I'm sorry. Your favorite game was Screw You, Pikachu, and we would take turns making up insults and making him dance. We called him Rodrigo. You'd cry when I'd hit the chickens in Riku Village when we played Zelda. I know it's you. I shook my head, the guilt knotting itself in my stomach. Slowly he let go of my hands, dropping his arms to his side in defeat. PBG. No, I want you to call me by my real name. Your real name? He clenched his fist. My real name is... Peanut Butter Gamer is his real fucking name. Oh my god. I took a step back and looked at... I really thought he was actually going to fucking say Austin there. That messy mop of hair, that slightly tired puppy dog look in his eyes, the narrowness of his face. Days I spent over at his house, walking to school together in the mornings, that time I pushed him out of the tree. It all came rushing back. Oh my god, Peanut Butter Gamer, I remember now. You do? Oh my god, you're so different. So are you. You were always the loud, adventurous one when we were little, so when you first showed up in class, I wasn't sure that it was you. But as you opened up, I began to see more of the Hana that I remembered. I'm so sorry. I was treating like a complete stranger this whole time. PBG waved a hand. It's no problem. Amnesia. It happens. You were so important to me when we were little. You were my best friend. You meant so much to me. I was so sad when you left and you never wrote me or anything. I lost your address when we moved and I didn't have your email address. I only remembered your first name, so I couldn't even look you up. It's good to see you again. Yeah, it is. We laughed and I beamed at him. I couldn't believe it. He was so different now. He was tall and brave and athletic. He was still the same PBG from when we were kids. Always thinking of others, inconveniencing himself to make sure they were okay, even down to his crazy obsession with soccer. So, I'm the reason you like video games, huh? I flushed. Well, I might have exaggerated a little bit. Don't even. We can be friends again. We are friends again. We are. We're friends again. Yeah, friends again. You have to tell me everything that happened after you left. Everything. I grabbed onto his arm and jumped up and down. Okay, but first, you want more food? I'm still kind of hungry. Never made it to the Asagao stall. We walked past it several times and Mai winked at me every time. Said we caught up over ramen and takoyaki, talking about his move, my mother's death, and what our lives were like since we last saw each other. Even as the festival ended and PBG walked me back to the dorm, there was still so much I didn't know. But I was happy. I was so happy. PBG stopped in front of the dorm, an odd look on his face. Hey, instead of heading in, do you want to come hang out? I have to go record PB&J, but maybe you'd like to sit in? I'd love to. This is the beginning of something beautiful. Oh, fantastic. Oopsies. Alrighty then. And that is actually where we're going to wrap it for tonight. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I am actually kind of getting sucked into this now. I did not expect that, but I kind of like where the storyline is going because, yes, amnesia, it's an overused trope and everything. But you know what? I like it in this sense because it brought two friends back together, and I have friends that I grew up with from my neighborhood and shit that I haven't seen in years, and I like the idea that these two have just come back together like this. I think that's fantastic. So, anyway, thank you guys on YouTube for watching. Stay wonderful, and I will catch you guys next time. Take care.